where we disagree. I say that they have the right to fade out your music at any time.
Producer, my shoelace is untied. You want to get in here and tie it for me, please, producer?
Now, I bribed him already. I gave him a whoopee cushion. You know, it says this. It calls it a poo-poo cushion, actually, because who better than
poo cushion?
Yes, who better than producers know that poo-poo happens, here, and so I gave him his own very own poo-poo cushion or whoopee cushion.
I'll give you $2 for it. $2, okay? $2. I'm serious.
You see?
I'll be right back.
This is the way the broadcast party really works. We make no bones about it. We are the Sunshine Law. We're open about our bribes here on the air. Okay. We have had nominees for My Running Mate. In the event of the incapacitation of the talk show president, the callers, you have to be a caller to be the running mate. It is your job when you see me tongue-tied or running out of something to say or no calls on the air, it is your job to call in with a hot topic or say something provocative that gets my administration rolling again and back on the right track. So far, we have 2 votes. Tammy from Largo, the League of Women Voter candidate.
Oh, whoa. All right.
Yes, news as it happens. There it is.
But how do you inflate it?
What I tell you...
This is going to be a good piece of shtick.
Look,
I just paid $2 for this. What, am I supposed to blow into it here?
Yes, okay. And we've had a couple of votes for Isabel from Bradenton because she's a willing woman.
Oh, I love this. Oh, this is going to replace the kazoo.
And we had now, of course, one man that we threw out from consideration just to prove that we're just not inanely interviewing people for running. We threw out Tom Eagleton. He called in. He said he was Tom from Tampa, but we knew he was Tom Eagleton because he had a nervous breakdown in the middle of the call. He's still trying to be running mate to somebody. We threw out Tom. Payphone Matthew, who said he was a good golfer, that he does not slice to the right or hook to the left, but right down the middle. Virginia, who says that as running mate, she would say a prayer, know all the cabinet members personally, and that she would issue farm reports in addition to the Walt Disney World forecast.
Wait a second. Do you mean if I get to be president, I would have to learn all of, for example, like the news staff's names?
Well, you don't have to learn all the news staff's names,
but very large news staff.
Virginia, yes, we have ours is bigger. Size is important. I've seen that billboard, and that's why I think Virginia says she would want to know all the cabinet members personally.
I see.
And she would say her prayer before doing that. And
has Mary Ann called in yet?
No.
Oh,
and we did have Peg from the Tardy Party. She was late, and so she's a member of our Tardy Party. We're a coalition here in the broadcast party. We've had several nominations for Dick and some votes for Dick, and a couple for me, right? And, of course, Bob Lassiter and I do disagree on the Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act. I claim I will streamline the bureaucracy.
Your show would be a hell of a lot better if you would use the talk show host's manual.
Yeah, well, you see, this is exactly what you propose, that more regulation is better, that to hamstring people, you would probably even dictate how high the microphone should be poised. You would probably dictate that.
By the way, you bring up an interesting point. Somebody raised that chair over the weekend. I mean, some little short talk show host came in here and had the audacity to raise my chair.
Well,
my chair, which I allow the rest of you to use. That chair was not transferred from Sconix to J-Corps because that chair doesn't belong to the radio station. That chair belongs to me. And some little pipsqueak who works here over the weekends, probably that jerk Lionel, came in here and had the audacity to raise up my chair, which I'm very disturbed about.
Well, I understand how you would feel about that. That's the trouble with liberals. You believe that you own everything, that you own the world, that you have the right because you pay for it.
I was given that chair.
Well, the giveaway programs are your famous.
That chair was given to me by the good folks over at, what is it, Homeowners Equity.
Homeowners Equity.
I think that's it.
That's
God,
getting
I hope that's it.
A little plug in there, a little plug.
Homeowners.
But I agree. Lionel is, as I mentioned, he is a candidate of the lunatic fringe. I mean, we are an open party. He is the lunatic fringe candidate. He is kind of like the Bob Merkel candidacy. He was there, but he really wasn't a credible candidate. Kind of, was there. But he is definitely in there. And Carol Sudler, the dark horse, because you never know when he's going to appear. It just depends on how long the game lasts.
Well, Merkel's about $200,000 short. Lionel's $1 short.
Now, the one that I find interesting is the Bob Lassiter talk show impersonator. You know, the one that comes on the weekends. He sounds like a talk show, but he sounds like he's taking calls. He even gives out the numbers, but he never takes a call. And the Bob Lassiter talk show impersonator.
We are not amused by the butchered tapes that play on the weekend. We find nothing whatsoever to be amused about that.
You want to make it clear that you feel that the Bob Lassiter talk show impersonator is not something that you're not amused by it, because you've heard it all before,
You
right?
see, there is a Bob Lassiter impersonator. It's a guy that calls up and starts to laugh and then starts gagging, and it's great because he sounds just like me.
Oh, he does.
He can't talk like me, but he laughs and gags like me.
Okay.
Wheezes. It's fantastic.
Okay, now this is part of my campaign is a telephone in every bathroom, because I will get more calls. And we have Vic in St. Pete. Vic in St. Pete.
Yes, I wasn't going to vote at all.
Pardon?
I wasn't going to vote at all.
You weren't going to vote?
Until I heard you mention everyone having a telephone in the bathroom.
I think a phone in the bathroom will significantly increase, my calls and members of the broadcast party.
And it will significantly increase telephone solicitor calls. And for that purpose alone, I think everyone should have a telephone in the bathroom.
A phone in every bathroom.
Also,
an IRS agent in every kitchen, yes.
For Secretary of Transportation, we should have Freddie Merckx or Lionel. So that we can...
How about roving ambassador? I think perhaps Mertz would fit in better with roving ambassador.
We can give Bob Lassiter a free trip back to Moscow. Well, if we don't do that, we can give him the chair.
Listen.
Hey, bring your check in, fella. I'll leave this afternoon.
I have pledged for foreign affairs. I'm interested in some foreign affairs. I have pledged live remotes for Paris, London, and Rome. At least I will attempt to get them. If you would like to include Moscow, why not? Why not?
Yes, and I think Bob should get the chair, free of charge.
I own the chair, sir.
Thank you for calling, Vic.
That's really the kind of chair he was talking about.
Just proving once again, a phone in every bathroom, and see the kind of calls I will get. You see?
Well, yes, your callers do spend a great deal of time there.
You can see it's a very open party. Okay, and we go to Big Guy Lou in St. Petersburg. Hey, Big Guy Lou, how are you doing?
Good. How about yourself, Sam?
I couldn't be better, thanks.
Listen, I've really been enjoying myself this morning. I got to follow some real Americans like Valrico Bob and Jack from St. Pete, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to third your nomination for number one.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay, number two, I wanted to put...
It's incredible. It's your show, and this is only the third man.
I know. I'm losing to Dick.
Behind you as your vice president. And the third thing I wanted to do was mention that I had a drink with a business associate of yours yesterday.
Oh, yes, we are the drinking party, yes.
Well, you might know the guy. I think his name is Schumann.
Schumann?
Yes.
Schumann. Oh, yes, Bob.
Yes, Bob Schumann. The Bob Schumann.
Yes.
And the conversation went
Wait a second. Did he pay for the drink?
I said that, I think you've got a really good talk show host that's been filling in for Liz. But I said, I think you really should get rid of Lassiter. You should really fire the guy. I think he's a total jerk.
No, you know what I've often said is that I recommend Bob shows highly, and that's because he's very subtle. He is the whistleblower here on the station.
Oh, right. Well,
and I think there's a role for whistleblowers in our administration.
Caller, two quick questions for you. One, what did Sam do yesterday on his show? And two, what did I do on mine?
Well, the first thing is, if brains were gasoline, you wouldn't have enough to kickstart a go-kart. That's the answer to your first question. And the answer to your second question is, why don't you go suck on that red, dead cow skin on your white Continental?
Well, sir, I think that answers the question. You listened to my show, but you didn't listen to Sam's.
I listen to Sam every day.
Well, what did he do yesterday, sir?
What did he do?
Yeah.
You know what he did.
I guess I do. You don't.
Oh, but I do.
Well, why don't you tell us then?
Why don't I? Bob, let me just say one thing to you. That you couldn't intimidate a 6-year-old child. Fibber. On and on.
What do you mean? I just caught you with your pants down, for God's sake.
Well, Big Guy Lou, I got to tell you that I need a nomination.
What kind of car does Sam drive, sir?
I drive an American car.
Sam, what did you say?
Well, I asked the caller what kind of car you drive.
I drive an American car.
No, the caller, Sam, the caller.
The caller.
Try to read my lips as you do with George's.
No.
See, he doesn't know what kind of, but he knows what kind of car I drive.
Well, I need a running mate here, Lou. You obviously have the broadcast party's interest at heart.
Jack from St. Pete.
Well, no, Jack is not a nominee for running mate. I'm sorry. We have Tammy from Largo, Isabel from Bradenton.
Well, I'm trying to draft the man, Sam.
Oh, you want to draft somebody from the floor?
Right.
Oh, God.
Jack, who, he won the Geek of the Week award last week.
Yes, but I think as eloquent as he is and as well as he is at speaking and having command of the English language, I think he would do well in your cabinet.
Well, we will throw it out. I open it up to the convention floor. And Big Guy Lou, I appreciate your calling.
Thank you, Sam.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And God bless America.
God bless America. Thank you. And that opens...
Americans like him around will need God's blessing.
No, as I've said, I am for freedom of worship on talk shows. Voting for Sam is voting for God knows what. Okay, and that opens up a phone line to Jesus in Zephyr Hills. You're on News Radio 970 WFLA with Sam McClelland and one of my opponents here, Mr. Bob Lassiter.
Hey, Corona Sammy, how you doing?
Very good, thanks.
All right, how's the Corona doing today?
Well, it just went out, so I guess I'll have to light up another. I am pledged to smoke up the studio.
I didn't know they made Phillies in Tampa.
It is, now this is the Villa de Cuba Corona Grande. It is made in...
And why does it say Phillies Sports on it?
Wait a minute, Bob. Now, this is misrepresenting the issues. This is clouding the issue. I'm trying to cloud the studio, and you're clouding the issue here. This is a seeds in Cuba, born in the USA.
Why does it smell like camel dung?
Well, now, you may want to say that about our fine local industries. I will never buy a Japanese cigar. I buy local cigars, Tampa cigars, and this is my smokestack industry here.
Hey, Sam.
Yes, Jesus.
This whoopee cushion, by the way, is made in Taiwan that you bought.
Well, naturally, it's made in Taiwan.
Where's the whistle made? Whistle's made in Hong Kong.
Yes, I find it this...
the slingshot.
What about this...
It doesn't say on it.
Now, the Renews It. What about the Renews It? Now, see, this is for Liz. Something from a man that lasts more than 10 minutes. This is made in Cincinnati, Ohio. Renews It. How about that? From Cincy. That's where they have that Skyline chili comes from, and that's why...
Why? That's even where the beloved J-Corps headquarters is.
Yes.
Cincinnati.
A division of the CMN News. It's just the conservative media network. Now, Jesus, I desperately need your vote.
Okay, you ready?
For the... for my running mate, and also, are you making a nominating speech for one of the candidates?
Yeah, I am.
All right, fire away.
Okay. You'll step on Bob, because he's a slob. He's full of propaganda. Did you hear that?
Oh, yes, we all heard that.
You'll step on Bob, because he's a slob. He's full of propaganda. You speak the truth. You do your job while he's a liberalista. So I'm for you. I must conclude Uncle Dickie made me hesitant. My mind is clear that we can't lose with Sammy as the president.
Sir, you appear to have call waiting. I think the unemployment office is trying to get through to you.
Yeah, because you're the man that understands and sees it like it is for human rights in Radioland and by replacing Liz. And by the way, maybe she can be the ambassador of Africa or something and just stay over there.
Well, we have somebody who is hollering from the floor for attention, who loved your speech, and
You've really given a lift to the whole country.
Yes, you certainly have, to the entire broadcast country. It stretches as far as the airwave can be heard. And I appreciate your call today, Jesus.
Well, I appreciate you, Sam.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that clears some aisles over there, and Zip pledge to attempt as Bob does. And News Radio 970 WFLA time is 11:20.
Get off my phone, you jerk.
News Radio 970 WFLA's Mad Dog, Bob Lassiter.
Sir, why should I show you any respect whatsoever? You, sir, are nothing but a yellow-bellied coward.
Well, I think you're a jerk.
I just think you're a jerk. This guy that answers the phone for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're the fag. I think he's a fag.
Oh.
The Mad Dog. Bob Lassiter, noon to 3 on News Radio 970 WFLA.
I think anybody has a right to produce your show, Bob. I believe the Producer's Rights Amendment.
Why is it, though, that your callers and Norman's callers are so interested in other people's sexuality?
Because what else is there, Bob? Well,
I guess for you guys, there isn't anything else other than someone else's sexuality.
I mean, God created the male and female, and what else is there to do in life? But, watch TV, and then, when it goes off the air, what do you do?
Yes, God did create the male and female. Unfortunately, all you guys get are the likes of Phyllis Schlafly and that crowd. Yeah.
Well, all right, now...
Anybody give up sex and think about homosexuality.
Now, somebody is stepping up to the campaign platform. They're approaching the microphone. This is Ken. Ken, in Pinellas County, you have a nomination?
Oh, of course. Because of his natural political acumen, his sincere interest in his fellow man, and his preponderance for the exquisite, I nominate the only man for president of the Broadcast Society, Bob Lassiter. You see, Sam, what you really don't understand is, number one, you're outclassed. And number two, your biggest problem, as I see it, and I know what you talked about yesterday, and I know it was on Bob's show yesterday, the simple fact is you are one of those people who say continually how open-minded you are, and yet you continually say, don't tell me the facts because I've already made up my mind.
That's absolutely correct, and this is the typical low-level campaign that you are running. These personal attacks.
I'm trying to raise the campaign out of the gutter into which you have cast it.
Sir, he's just a little bit bummed out because he didn't think of Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day.
No, wait, I had a contest in 25 words or less, tried to say why you're thankful for Ronald Reagan because. And it was tough to fit it all into 25 words.
Yeah, right.
It was. Just a list of categories.
People that like Ronald Reagan have never strung together 25 words.
Or less. Exactly, because he fell asleep in the middle of them, Bob.
Peace and prosperity. Those are 2 words, but then sometimes it's tough to, push them out to 25.
Right, Sam, understand something.
Yes.
Here we are in the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, all right? I can wave the flag as well as you can. The thing is this. Being here allows me to disagree with you without being disagreeable. Point number one. But point
I don't know, Sam's making faces, sir. I think you're being very disagreeable as far as he's concerned.
Well, I'm not making faces. I'm blowing smoke here. I'm blowing smoke again.
Oh, you've been doing that all along.
That's right. My smokestack industry.
Are we talking literally or figuratively now?
Well, a little of each.
All right. Anyway, Sam, one final thing. I enjoy listening to you because you really stimulate me to the point of total aggravation when you will not listen to the voice of reason. Now, on the other hand...
No, sir, he listens to my show.
I know.
I do listen to the Professor Moriarty of Talk, yes.
He doesn't know how to reply.
Well, Ken, I appreciate so much this nomination. We were waiting for somebody to actually make a nominating speech, and I knew that Lassiter's supporters could not possibly make a positive speech without trashing one of the other candidates. You are running a dirty campaign.
But you see, you're not listening, Sam. I did not trash you. If I trashed you, I would tell you I wouldn't listen to you, all these other things.
The truth in a slander trial is always an adequate defense. Okay, I appreciate that.
Wait a minute. Well, one more thing, Sam.
Yes.
I heard your listener cast the first aspersion saying that Bob should be fired. I heard that just a few minutes ago.
And you heard me attempt to get the Lassiter vote by suggesting that is not going to happen, not in the broadcast party. We are the party of all the talk shows.
But sir, do not despair because the listener knew what I had done yesterday. He knows what kind of car I drive. He knows everything about me because he listens to my show.
Yeah, half-heartedly. Bob, I got to go back to work. I'll talk to you this afternoon.
Okay, yes, thank you. And you see,
amazing that my supporters have work.
They have jobs. Thanks.
Yours don't.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we appreciate
yours. One phones in the bathroom.
Yes, phones in the bathroom. Why not? I mean, it's where else can the kind of talk that I want emanate best? Where else? I mean, really, we have now. Now, here we have the intelligentsia coming in. This is David at USF. This may be my first USF call ever. Somebody who actually goes to school listens to my show. I appreciate this. David.
Yes, good morning, Sam.
Yes, sir.
This is Dave Sweat.
Oh, my goodness. This is one of the producers?
Right.
The producers have rights to even call the shows?
Well,
talk show hosts do not call shows because you got your own show, right?
Right.
But the producers feel the right to just call a show?
Absolutely, and you support that right, don't you, Sam?
Well, I support the right of producers to interrupt at any time.
See,
that is true.
Here again, you've taken a stand that appears to be a popular stand without thinking it through. This is the kind of stuff that's going to happen if you give producers rights.
When you stick up for rights, sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to permit X-rated movies. Sometimes you have to permit
No. It's just
kids going out burning
classic
flags.
Case of running off at the mouth, saying that you're in favor of something without having thought about the consequences of it.
No, a right is a right, no matter how unpleasant it may be. Free speech, for example, it permits people to say all kinds of wacko things on the air. And I guess this is one of those moments when if you stick up for the Producers' Rights Amendment, you have to expect that the producers will take advantage of it. And
I'd call him a subhuman pig and hang up on him.
Sam, I thank you for that. I heard that, Bob. I thank you for those rights. I will vote for you and not Bob because of those rights. However, there are certain things about Bob that I do like, and his chair is one of them. Bob, let me be honest, I was the little pipsqueak that changed your chair this weekend.
How dare you? How dare you?
Let me explain, Bob. You see, I am the producer in charge of the best or the worst of Bob Lassiter, as the case may be, on the weekends.
The Bob Lassiter talk show impersonator, you are in control of that person?
Indeed I am.
Finally, the villain in this piece has appeared. It is true.
It is true.
It sounds like a talk show.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's talking to people, but nobody ever calls in unless they want to know the lottery winners or something like that, right?
I haven't seen a gray cart in years.
Yes. These are...
Wow.
This
that takes me back to Utica.
Yes. There's some old carts here. We're bringing out some old shtick today. Well, Dave?
Yeah.
You're calling from USF, and
yeah.
I'm glad to get the thinking man's vote because I've never had it before, and I appreciate it.
Okay, and Sam?
Yes?
The talk show host manual is not a bad thing.
It is not a bad thing.
That's Bob's other strength that I do enjoy.
Well, it just shows that I'm permitting to people to talk about all kinds of issues, but I am pledged to introduce the Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act if I am elected talk show president.
Okay, well, I think Bob should be your running mate, so if you get assassinated, he can be president.
Well, we haven't asked Bob, but I think he said that he is definitely in the running.
Well, I think there's a very strong chance that if you ever did get a full-time slot, you would be assassinated.
No, you see, that's why James Bond's theme music is mine, because I am Agent 970. I'm licensed to kill calls. Bye! He's gone. David is gone. Licensed to kill callers. That's right. They're gone.
My God, must you shout?
Well, yes, in fact, I must. I'm trying to get the Dick Norman vote. Did you hear what the guy said? That he nominated Dick Norman because in the event of electrical power outage, which can happen if the Crystal River nuclear power plant goes down or something, or they turn on the air conditioning once in a while in the summer here, that you can still hear Dick Norman without a microphone.
Yes, I understand Dick moonlights down at the Museum of Science for when the wind machine goes out in the hurricane display.
Right. Oh, now here's a guy. Here's someone, Bob, that usually calls you and never calls me. I have a feeling that this is going to be a nominee for you. This is Downtown Dave. Downtown Dave.
Oh,
yes?
Downtown Dave, the empty-pocketed capitalist.
Right. Downtown Tampa. This is the delegation from Downtown Tampa. And are you claiming you want to be recognized on the floor?
Oh, no, not me. I'm not claiming. I'm kind of a silent person in these types of things. But
how's the market today, Dave?
It's up.
Up?
Yeah, not too much. It's up about 9 points right now.
So you must be the CNN in coverage of our convention. They show you everything, but they don't talk about it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I just wanted to let you know, Sam, is that you're a little bit, I have to say a little bit, way to the right of me. And I thought I was a capitalist and a Republican, but you kind of take it a little bit too far. You know what I'm saying?
I take it to the max.
Oh, man, I mean, that's not good. Too much of anything is not good.
Well, I don't know. Now, we've been talking about the necessity for males and females to consider sex when the broadcast is down.
Well, it sounds like you two definitely have you should do this more often, Bob. You should come out in the morning with him.
All alone at the end of the campaign.
And Bob, you know, when you get on your show...
When the bright lights faded to red, white, and blue.
Maybe you should sing a song for us when you come on in the air at 12, Bob.
Sing a song for you?
Yeah.
Well, I might play the kazoo.
That's a good one. Instead of playing your music, you know, you sing. What bands do you like? What's your favorite music?
Spike Jones, primarily. I don't listen to music that much. Guns N' Roses.
Yes, Bob was interesting. We were talking yesterday about how it all started at a country radio station. I started at a country radio station. I was Sam Case.
That's not where I started the business. That's where I started to prosper under the Reagan administration.
Oh, I see. Right.
When I worked at the country station WKQS in Miami.
Bob, did you want to repeat that again? Can you repeat
how I prospered under the Reagan administration?
Yeah.
Well, it's true. I'm probably the only guy in the country that has.
And you're complaining about it?
I was a hopelessly obscure little beautiful music announcer in Pittsburgh when Carter lost to Reagan. And shortly thereafter, I was standing on the stages of country clubs all over South Florida, bashing the hell out of Reagan,
Bob,
getting all these rednecks to hoot and holler and agree with me.
Bob, Carter didn't lose Reagan. He was buried.
No, I beg your pardon. It wasn't that big a defeat. Reagan's big victory came over Mondale.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you it was a close election, but it was anything but a landslide. It was anything but a mandate in 1980.
Did you vote?
In 1980?
No, did you vote today?
I sure did.
I was going to say, I have a feeling
Place was packed, too, by the way.
I'm a little bit nervous. I think this is going to be a little bit closer than anybody really thought.
I can honestly sit here and tell you, beyond the shadow of a doubt, I have utterly no idea Who will win this election?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's a coin
toss.
Yeah,
a coin toss. That's easy for you to say. So, Dave, you have a vote for my running mate, or what? I mean, like I say, this is freedom of worship on Sam. It's voting for me is for God knows what, and so you called for God knows what. What, Dave?
I called to tell you that I think that Dick Norman should be your running mate. I think he could get a lot of votes for you. Bob, I don't know.
Well, I would probably vote for Sam if indeed Dick Norman was his running mate, because that way we'd keep Norman out of the country most of the time attending funerals.
Well, I'm not sure.
No one would ever hear from him again.
I'm not sure I want a demagogue on my ticket, because he has been demagoguing this death penalty issue.
I would much rather swap Norman for Quayle any day of the week. I'd rather have Quayle on the air and Norman going to funerals. I'll bet you a nickel that Bush would too.
That could be another live remote. The next time a Soviet leader, has a funeral or something, we could have, that could be the Moscow remote.
I don't think Quayle's going to get to go to the important funerals.
But really, consider my campaign pledge to try to get Bob Schumann to send Dick Norman for a live remote outside the fence at Stark and interview the people with the placards and the candles and all of that.
And then hopefully Norman would reach up and touch the fence.
You two have a good morning. I'll talk to you later, Bob.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Bye. And now here's the gentleman. I think this is Danny. Is this the Danny? Is this Danny the Dodger?
Yes, it is, Sam.
This is the man who...
Danny the Mariner.
Volunteered for the long-term youth experiment.
Is your gig in Pinellas?
No, it's not.
Oh, well, you're calling in on the Pinellas line.
Yes, I did. Well, it's the Tampa line.
He's on the long-distance.
Oh, he's on the practical joke?
Wonderful, sure, yeah. Oh, what a joke when I get that bill, I'll tell you.
The aisles have been crowded, and but you have muscled your way in without credentials in the long-distance line, masquerading as a Pinellas person.
Well, thank you, sir, because I took off work today just to talk to you, because I'm going to go do some phone work now for the Duke, as you know, volunteer worker. But anyway, I think
he's not paying anybody anymore. That's right. The checks have stopped flowing into Florida. You knew that, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's all he's got left are volunteers.
All right, the running mate, sir. Your running mate should be Jack from St. Pete, without a doubt.
Jack is getting another
American. Bob, have you ever heard this guy?
This is
probably. It doesn't really ring a bell with me.
He's the king of the compound nouns. This is Jack Vivace from St. Pete. Those pablum puking, Ortega loving. That's what he does. He's the king of the compound noun. He's great. And also the Ayatollah of adverbs.
Yes.
Puking is a noun.
No, that's an adverb.
Oh.
See, it's an adverb.
A long time, Bob. But I'll tell you, these guys are in for a surprise tonight, man. I'll tell you, listening to Asner last night, Edward Asner, and hearing the people talk.
I think we are in for a surprise. Probably Paul's going to win.
Excuse me?
Ron Paul, I think is his name. He's probably the one that's going to win.
Well,
what about this girl Lola Falana from the Lions Party?
Yes, Trudy, one of them.
Lola Falana?
Yeah, her name sounds like that anyway. If she looked like that, she'd have more votes. But she's this new Alliance Party candidate. She's Dr. Lola Falana, right? Well, what is her name? Ted Webb knows.
It's something like that.
Yes, it is. It is something like that.
Sam.
Right, but she's never worked Vegas.
All the politicians. Sam. It's astonishing.
Yes.
Anyway, I say, you and Jack, when you deliver Jack for Vice President, when you deliver that speech up there on inauguration day, chills, Bob, would come to anybody who would listen to these two people just talk.
Well, that's because they go on endlessly, and it's normally rather cold in Washington in January.
But anyway, I just wanted to call in and say that get ready for tonight. That Michael Dukakis, the president of the United States,
Duke. That's amazing. You watch the Morton Downey show, and the audience is always cheering for Dukakis.
Okay. Duke. Listen, you guys. Nice talking to you guys.
I think you're a communist.
Yeah, well, same to you, buddy.
Okay, thanks for calling, I think. Okay, that's Danny the Dodger. And, yes, he's volunteered for that long-term use experiment, right?
That's what I'm led to believe anyway.
All righty. And that opens up the practical joke line. Look at this. It pops. The practical jokers are here today. I think when was it? We read the Wade Boggs celebrity softball game promo liner. Every time we do that, I'm telling you, this is some satanic chant, Bob. If you ever run into trouble, you read this and you get something on the air. Somebody calls in with something wacko off the wall, and I don't know what it is, like reading the Bible backwards or something that they do, but when you say this, something happens. Something incredible always happens, and so here it is. We take, we take something in hand and read this. Come out and join your favorite.
You shouldn't use the word wee was taking something in hand.
Well, okay, I won't do that. Well, you see, I'm sneaky. I'm devious. I'm tricky. You see, I am Agent 970. My background for Talk Show President is I was in the Talk Show Intelligence Agency. I ran it for several years, and I do have a license to kill callers. I just blank them off the air, and they're never heard from again. Come out and join your favorite 970 WFLA personalities, as well as your least favorite personalities.
Wait a second.
Who they
you
are
mean Mike Levine is going to be there?
Mike Levine may be there now.
Well, I mean, what else could it possibly be with your favorite 970? Mike, it's got to be Levine. It's got to be Captain Radio. I didn't know he was back in town.
Right, and of course the others who are candidates. Now you have to be a talk show host to be a candidate for Talk Show President. So I'm sorry, Rick Samples dropped out of the running. Hi, Rick. For the Wade Boggs Celebrity Softball Tournament.
Wait a second. He's taking notes. Talk slower.
Yes. Okay. For the Wade Boggs. Wade through those bogs on the Celebrity Softball Tournament at USF on November 12th. We're all planning to be there. Hope you are, too. For details, call the 970 WFLA Business Office. They love to get calls about Wade Boggs at the 970 WFLA Business Office.
Oh, they just love to get calls down there. Call them for any reason.
Call for it because now that there's no more calls for, can I get a commercial on the air for my candidate? You know, those calls have stopped.
Call in particular for the special Thanksgiving turkey recipe that they give out on that line.
Oh, the turkey recipe.
Yeah, if you have any questions at all about how to, roast your turkey, you call that number.
Yes, 228-9797 for the turkey recipe. News Radio 970 WFLA time is 11:40, and having a good time here on the air. And we were trying to work out a private deal.
How did you want me to make out that autograph?
That was to bearer. To bearer. Yes,
bearer, okay.
Pay to bearer. At any rate, we were just working out a deal here, and this is definitely a smoke-filled room. This normally doesn't happen Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon. I do have my bribe for Liz. She's not here, but I do have the renewed.
No, normally it's filled with sour grapes. So.
And by the time I'm through with it, in the studio, with me in it, it probably will be worthless again, but that's the way that goes. Okay, the broadcast party convention continues, and we go to Chris in Tampa. You're on News Radio 970 WFLA with candidate Sam McClelland and candidate Bob Lassiter.
I know both of you guys know me. Sam,
and believe we're no Jack Kennedy, right?
Well, no,
you know us both. You've worked with us both.
But Sam, I called you once and had a suggestion of playing Jimi Hendrix's version of Star Spangled Banner in the morning. And Bob, I'm the one that called you and told you the Red Tide was nothing more than a Michigan communist influence that came down here to try to get free fish off the beach. That being what it made.
Well, that made a hell of a lot of sense. It's probably one of the very few calls I've ever taken in my entire career that I could sit back and say, I think that guy's got something.
Free fish on the beach, yeah.
I just used that as a preface so you guys would have an idea of who I was. I would like to nominate myself for Minister of Research and Public Relations, and if you may, I'd like to give you a couple of my qualifications.
Well, first of all, that would be fine, Chris, except we haven't had the election yet. It is premature, as George Bush says, and it is premature also in the broadcast party to talk about
appointments,
except that I was able to bribe Ted Webb to drop out of the race.
That's the most asinine thing. It's a little premature. I don't think there's anything more important from a candidate than knowing who the hell he's going to surround himself with.
But
that's beside the point.
You guys have no idea why. Did you guys notice how fast Ted left the studio this morning? Did anybody notice?
Sure, there wasn't any food here this morning.
Do you know why?
That's exactly right.
Bob, do you know why?
Why's that?
They had the women wrestlers on Donahue this morning. And
no.
Webb, I guarantee you, Webb was out of there like a bolt of Italian lightning. I mean, the olive oil was running. He was gone.
Oh, my God, that's disgusting.
No, I'm telling you. But there's one thing...
Well, Chris, if you really want to be a member of my administration, you can help me select a running mate. Now, we have Tammy from Largo. She is tied with Isabel from Bradenton, who is just a willing woman. But Tammy will bridge the gap between me and the legal women voters. Payphone Matthew is a good golfer. Virginia, say a prayer and know all the cabinet members personally. Farm Report, Virginia. And Peg from the Tardy Party. Now, Jack has a couple of votes because he's the Geek of the Week. Winner. Well, he's the first winner of that. And
I hate to be rushed doing anything, so if it was down to just to those, I'd say
Liz Richards would like to meet you then.
Yeah, I hear that. But Sam, while you were gone this weekend,
yes,
I talked to Michael Serio.
Now, you see, this was another ploy from Bob Lassiter. I take one lousy Sunday off. I started here on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
February 14th. That's my wedding anniversary. I didn't realize that was your first day here.
It was my first day here. I take one lousy Sunday off. And who fills in? Bob Lassiter's producer, Mike Serio, comes in.
No. You see, you got it all wrong, man. If I had done anything, and if I was really trying to sabotage you, I would have had Jack Wheeler fill in for you.
Touche. I love you both like, night and day, love and hate. You couldn't have one without the other. But I brought up something to him.
Sure, sir, you can have me without McClelland.
And he suggested that I bring it up to both Bob and Sam and let you make whatever you will out of it, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, we got 14 minutes to kill.
Throw us for a loop using the word mind again.
Bob, give me a break. It's not that long. I've waited 20 minutes to tell you this. There I go, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sam talks about Made in America. Everybody talks about Made in America, this, and that. And I know better than call you, especially you, Lassiter, because me and you've been through the ringer. I know better to call you anymore unless I've done my homework. Sam,
you can call anytime. That's right.
That's right. I do a mindless show.
Call Sam.
Well, Sam,
my show is mindless.
If Sam could trade his place to the eagle on top of the American flag, he'd be happy. But that's beside the point.
I'm a famous flagpole sitter, in fact, and the eagle gives me more support. I appreciate that.
You're made in Tampa cigars and all this, and the best cigars came from Cuba because they were rolled on the thighs of virgins. But that's another story. Okay, General Electric, right?
He's a real brown nose, this guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Listen, General Electric, right, is a French-owned company, right?
General Electric, who is retired. He's retired. Isn't General Electric owned? But no, that's right. General Electric bought RCA, who bought NBC. Okay, I got it right.
Listen. Carnation Foods is Swiss. All you great big NRA, Rocky, Smith & Wesson handguns are owned by the British. General Tire belongs to West Germany. The Japanese have 1/3 of Alaska's $1 billion seafood processing. $773 million in the District of Columbian property, including the famed Watergate complex, is owned by the British. The British raider Sir James Goldsmith owns 1.9 million acres of forest in Washington State, Oregon, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Wait a minute. This sounds like you're campaigning on the issues, Chris.
No,
I will not tolerate a discussion of the issues at the Broadcast Party convention. I am the candidate opposed to talking about the issues. I am the candidate that believes every punch below the belt.
Sam, I'm bringing these things to your attention, Sam.
Well, I am...
So you'll know when these people start saying, I buy American, you have the information behind you. And that's the reason why I want to be your researcher, as the Italians would say, consigliere, and public relations, because I know where to get the best seafood in town, okay? So this is what I'm trying to show you, that I have the resources to give you the information, the homework, as Bob would put it, to make your statements on the radio and not have these people who are educated beyond their intelligence try to tell you different.
Thank you, sir. I can see food, but I can't find food.
Okay.
That's always been my problem.
One last thing I want to tell you, okay?
Yes.
Foreign investors control 46% of downtown commercial real estate in Los Angeles, 39% in Houston, 32% in Minneapolis, and 21% in Manhattan. And in the British, like I said, the British own over $773 million in the District of Columbia, including the Watergate
But these
complex.
are all pointless percentages.
No,
in the time that it took you to read off those percentage, some Japanese sold a Canadian and a condominium in downtown New York, and the percentages have shifted. So these are worthless, useless facts that nobody needs.
If a Japanese company comes in and buys a great big casino or something in Las Vegas and deals strictly to an American public, they're doing the good. Because
one second here.
Right?
Let me jump in. There's nothing wrong with the Japanese owning 49% of downtown Los Angeles if they had used their own money to buy it. Unfortunately, they used our money to buy it.
No,
we bought Sony Walkmans, and they bought real estate.
Right there, Bob. But the thing I disagree with is if they buy a company, a conglomerate, a hotel here, they're prejudicing against the Americans. Here, I have it right here. The Aladdin Hotel and Casino, it's in Las Vegas. The Japanese bought it for $54 million, invested another $30 million, and you know who uses it? They use
yes, but who do they buy it from?
They Aladdin the casino. They use it to shuttle customers from Japan to Las Vegas and back.
Well, Chris,
but they bought it from, to the best of my knowledge, Wayne Newton, and anything that we can get out of his hands, I'm all in favor of.
Well, Chris, you have just lost my interest in your being my minister of information. There is no way I would ever select you. You would continue to pester me, talk show president, with facts all the time, and when you know my mind is made up. News Radio 970 WFLA time is 11:50. It is time for news with Charlie Davis. Michael, we have in our studio one of the candidates for talk show president today, Mr. Bob Lassiter, who is with us, and we have talked about the campaign, and I have opened to the floor the nomination for running mate, and so far I have not heard you say that you would do the same. You want to go into some smoke-filled room and pick your running mate. If you were elected, would you serve?
Would I serve?
Yes.
Probably not. I just don't really seek a leadership position. One has to compromise too much. One has to, scratch backs and all that kind of good stuff and make deals and grant favors and collect favors, and I'm just not into that.
This is the Mario Cuomo position, Bob. This is another liberal position. Draft me if you want me. I'll be there, but,
Exactly. It's somewhat of an elitist position. I appreciate that, but then I am somewhat of an elitist.
Now, see, Dwight Eisenhower played this game in his convention, but, of course, he, was the commander-in-chief already. So he really wasn't waiting around. He was just waiting for the other job. He already was the commander-in-chief.
Well, we don't talk about Eisenhower too much on my show. My listeners don't tend to remember him.
Thank you. Yes,
yeah, that's okay, Sam.
Yeah, we had Peg from the Tardy Party. She says she
remembers Eisenhower.
Yes. She gave advice to Ulysses Grant that he should pick that young guy Dwight as his running mate. Right.
Roosevelt.
We go
both of them.
Pinellas County and say hello to a Frank person. This is a Frank call, right?
Yes.
This is Frank.
I'd like to make a nomination for talk show president, if I could.
Talk show president. Well, the talk show presidents are nominated. It has to be a talk show host. I know it's a ridiculous and arbitrary rule, but so is being 35. So fire away.
Yeah, I'd like the Clearwater delegation over here wants to cast our votes for you, Sam, for talk show president. We like that. We like a person in there with the great leadership responsible position. We want somebody who's going to respect this country and make it even greater than it already is.
Well, I will also promise to get a new thermometer for Clearwater. You folks over there are borrowing the St. Petersburg thermometer. Once again, I look at the weather.
How about a new phone line for them? I mean, we can go up on the roof and look over and see Clearwater, but listening to them, it sounds like he's calling from outer Mongolia.
He bought his phone at the Home Shopping Channel. Thanks for calling, Frank. Thank you.
Okay, if I could, I'd like to get a nomination for talk show vice president.
For vice president, well, I have running mates. Tammy, Isabel, Payphone Matthew, Virginia, Peg.
So he wants to nominate, not vote for.
You don't want to nominate somebody new?
No, I'd like to nominate Payphone Matthew, if I could.
Payphone Matthew climbing up fast here in the final moments. He is now tied with Tammy, the legal woman voter from Largo, and Isabel, the willing woman from Bradenton. Payphone Matthew?
Yeah, we need to get somebody in there who's going to have something to do besides go to funerals. He can go out on weekends and play golf.
Yes, he said he was a good golfer, and that is great qualifications.
What the hell is he always calling from a payphone for?
Qualifications Dan Quayle listed.
In the broadcast party, that's excellent qualifications. It's been a long time since we've had a golfer as a president who, when he was on the Bob Hope circuit, nobody had to duck. Everybody's been ducking from Gerald Ford and things like this, for years. Well, thank you, Frank, and I appreciate the vote, and I know Payphone Matthew does too.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye. And, yes, I like those payphone calls, right? That's an interesting one. All right, we go to Tommy D. in Tampa. You're on News Radio 970 WFLA.
Saving Sam, the preaching man. How you doing today, Sam?
Very, very good, thanks. I'm lagging in the polls. I don't believe in polls, but I'm behind in them anyway.
Listen, let me ask you something. I got a volume here in front of me, about 7 inches thick, on sexual mores of people, done in 1906 by Havelock Ellis. Erotic symbolism, mechanism of detumescence. And what it says basically is...
This is the kind of calling you the talk show host manual for.
Yeah, right.
Once the sexual mores of the people are frustrated, that they turn to the other thing they love.
What is that?
Well, that would be war.
No, it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And we go to Vince. You see, he had the wrong answer. Wrong answer.
You also had the wrong radio station on in the background.
Sex and war. That's right. News Radio 970 time, 11:57. Vince.
Hello.
Yes, Invincible Vince.
Listen, I wanted to ask you 2 real brief questions about that other election going on today. And first of all, if you could tell me briefly, what is this New Alliance Party, and what do these women stand for here?
Well, Lola Falana is the candidate in the New Alliance Party, and she is for a feather for every dancer.
Seriously, though, are these just some nuts like that Ron Paul guy?
Seriously, though, if you ever go to Las Vegas and the dancers don't have feathers, you would know why they're advocating feathers for every dancers. That is a serious question. Even in Las Vegas, they have mores, and because they read that 1906 manual. They know about things that would offend people back in 1906, right?
Okay, my other question, real briefly, was that,
yes, sir.
They were saying how they thought there was going to be a real low turnout today, one of the lowest since Truman, and I was wondering if you guys know what was the highest turnout that they've ever had.
Since 1864, the highest percentage of turnout was in the Kennedy-Nixon election. There was about 62% of the vote turned out. 62% of the registered voters turned out, and that was that's the high.
I'm really impressed. I would not have known the answer to that.
That's still kind of low, it seems.
Thank you, sir. No, that was the highest turnout. It was a very close election, and close elections make good turnouts, and I hope that you will vote today, Vince. That is the real information you need to know.
Back to the important election here, I would like to nominate Liz Richards, because that would give a chance to test out the impeachment process pretty soon here.
You would like to test out Liz Richards? She is, but I've heard this from many men that she is unimpeachable.
I don't think there's any recall process available to us in talk radio, unfortunately.
No.
Yes, that's...
Or fortunately, as the case may be.
Disappear, can they?
No, you can call back tomorrow. You can recall.
Okay.
You can recall this talk show anytime. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that is going to wrap it up for me today, and I'm clearly behind.
Well, Sam, I would like to extend an invitation to you to appear on my program.
Well, I will kindly accept your invitation, but I am not running for vice president. I don't know if this is an invitation.
Well, the convention's over. Now it switches to Sam Appreciation Day.
All right, I thank you. Well, stay tuned for news. The conservative media network now goes off the air, and we go back to the liberal media establishment. We will have Charlie Davis in the news.
Hi, Bob Lassiter, inviting you to join me right after Sam McClelland, who's filling in for Liz Richards here on 970 WFLA.
Now, here's News Radio 970 WFLA's Bob Lassiter.
Thank you, Charlie. 8.5 minutes after the hour of 12 noon. Sam, in honor of your staying on with us for at least a spell anyway this afternoon, I thought we would start the program with something that must be very near and dear to your heart, the Lord's Pledge.
The Lord's Pledge?
Yes.
Right. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. For thine is the kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. One nation, under God, liberty, justice for all.
9 minutes after the hour of 12 noon, a very, very good Tuesday for you. It won't be a good Tuesday for everybody, but hey, it's not over yet, right? What is it? November the 8th, 1988, of course, in the first part of the live talk segments today, Sam held his political convention. We decided during the course of that convention, we were attending, of course, we decided during the course of that convention that a couple of weeks ago we did what? Cheryl Brown Appreciation Day, and bavoom, they canceled their ads on the station. Then we did Ronald Reagan Appreciation Day. Bavoom, he's out. It's over. So I decided, we'll do Sam McClelland Appreciation Day. And what happens, I'll just give out the telephone numbers. If you appreciate Sam, of course, you'll probably, whatever. In Pinellas, that's a 4, a 6, a 1, a 9, a 5, and a 2. For those of you who appreciate Sam, let me give those numbers a little bit slower. 4, 6, 1, 9, 3, 5, 2. And, of course, if you're in Hillsborough and appreciate Sam, the number is 990 WFLA. And for those of you in Hillsborough who really appreciate Sam, let me give out those numbers, especially for you, 990-9352. Okay, you've got the numbers, Sam. It's really a pleasure to have you in here stinking up the studio again.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I lit up another one. I am pledged to smoke up the studio whenever I'm in here. I will support the smokestack industry. I'm obviously not the environmentalist candidate on the broadcast party ticket.
Well, Sam, you've got a week to smoke. Next Tuesday I'm quitting smoking, and so you will just have to give up altogether your smoking.
Well, no, I support my local industry. I am placed to do that. I know that Castro couldn't keep it up, but I can.
Michael wants to know, by the way, where you stand on the Monologue Reduction Act.
On the Monologue Reduction Act, I have often found that the monologue is essential. It is frequently essential when you have things like, the phones aren't working, or the producer is in the bathroom, or something silly like that. That the monologue is an essential part of the talk show administration. No talk show president would be without his monologue. So
great, fantastic.
So we are in agreement on that. But on this Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act, we clash on this, Bob. And I would fully have expected you to be in favor not only of keeping the talk show host manual the same size it is today, but probably sponsoring more regulations, more rules, more entanglement and red tape for talk show hosts. Wouldn't you really be in support of that, Bob?
Steve in St. Petersburg. Steve, you're on there at 970 WFLA.
How you doing, Bob?
Oh, great, Steve.
He stands by his manual.
Well, I go along with you. You know, any smart talk show host would not need a manual. You know, any talk show host who could think on his feet would not need a manual.
Well, Sam normally sits down while doing the show.
Absolutely, except when I play the national anthem, then I rise. And I have always been kind of a revolutionary about it. You notice again, Bob and I clash on this issue, this very important issue of whether to give the Pinellas numbers first or the Hillsborough numbers first. And I maintain that we should give the Hillsborough numbers first.
Now, wait a second. I said I normally do give the Hillsborough numbers first. The reason I do that is that when I came over here, the little card that sits in front of you, the little idiot card that has all the phone numbers on it that you give out 47 times a day and can never remember, had the Hillsborough numbers first.
Yes, it did. At one time,
the world was right. The new administration comes in, fresh from Detroit. Oh, I've been in Detroit. I know how talk radio's done. What do? First thing actually, it's the only damn thing they've done. They reverse the order of the telephone numbers as though that's going to make any difference.
And as though it made a difference in reversing the numbers on the card in front of us to read, they issued a memo about it. Now, this is what I mean. You have more paperwork. If you advocate paperwork and bureaucracy and entanglement, then vote for Bob. If you are in favor of the Talk Show Host Paper Reduction Act...
Wait a second. You know, I did the same thing with that memo that I do with all of them. I crumple it up without even looking at it and throw it away.
Who is that?
And harumph. No, that's the new people, J-Corps. They're the ones that are really into memos. The Sconix people, they didn't have enough money to write memos.
And if you continue to vote for Bob as talk show president, his administration will continue to talk about issues. I am opposed to that. I believe that my mind is made up, and I'm tired of being pestered with these issues. I like a campaign where every punch is below the belt. So that's my kind of campaign.
You see, the way it used to work before is everything was in the engineering budget. Paper, tapes, paper clips, it was all in the engineering budget. And the guys in engineering were given a great deal of heat about, always being over budget, so they just sat on the paper, which kept the Sconix people from writing memos. The J-Corps people come in, they put the paper for memos in the general manager's budget, which, of course, nobody pays any attention to. It doesn't make any difference if he goes over budget. Oh, sure, lunch here, dinner there, golf game here, new Jaguar there. Oh, that's cool. So now we have plenty of money for memos, and we have plenty of memos. Just 4 of them in my box this morning. I didn't read a damn one of them.
Well, Bob, I'd like your and Sam's unbiased opinion on something, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I think that I do a much better Lionel impersonator. And so I want you to listen to this. Hello, Bob. How are you today? This is really a Beocean thing to do.
This is pathetic.
You don't think that that's a good Lionel? In order to do a good Lionel, you have to learn how to say Long Island. Long Island.
Oh, that's the most disgusting. Sam's shaking his head. He's got a look of disgust. Oh, man, that doesn't sound anything like... It sounds a little more like Betsy from Largo.
No, it sounds like Howard... That's a cheap Howard Cosell interview. That's right. It's a cheap Howard Cosell imitation. It's the Kmart version of the Howard Cosell imitation.
That's really grim, man. That's really grim.
Really sad.
You have utterly no future at all as a call-in impersonator.
Well, I can do a very good Rocky.
A very good Rocky.
Oh, yes.
Why would anybody want to do a very good Rocky?
I don't know.
Well, you're not going to get an unbiased opinion out of me.
Let's hear your very good Rocky.
How are you, Bob?
I'm fine. Now start the good Rocky, please.
All right. Bob, I just wanted to...
Hey, man, it's only a 3-hour show. Would you start doing your Rocky, please?
It's that bad?
You were doing it?
Yeah. It's that bad?
Do you have a line of work?
Yeah. I work at
No, I don't have a line of work.
That's what I was afraid of. Well, thanks, Steve. Hey, Tom in Tampa. Tom, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Mr. Lassiter. How are you?
Hello, Tom.
Good. Are we voting still on this?
You can do whatever the hell you want to do, Tom. I mean, come on. This is Liberation Day. This is the day that we have waited for 2 years. The day where we no longer have to put up with people running for president.
That's great, because I called Sam earlier, and I wanted to be vice president. And then I said, no, I should be president. Yeah, that's it, president.
Oh, no, this is Tom Eagleton calling back. Tom, you're not going to be on anybody's ticket. You're a lousy running mate. Look, I know you're still looking for...
I don't want to be a running mate. I want to be the mate. I should be the president. Yeah. And Dukakis, he could be my running mate. We go good together. That's it, Dukakis, yeah. We're going together.
Is this the guy that was let out on his own recognizance?
I think it is.
I do have one of those cars, yes, recognizant. You have one of those?
You called before, and now you're calling again. This is what we call about the recall petition to talk shows, that he can recall talk shows. Are you in favor of this recall of talk shows?
Well, some callers are better than others, and those I don't mind recalling.
But Sam, you were the ones who said we got to get rid of Lassiter. Yeah, we got to get rid of him.
Mad Dog, Bob Lassiter.
Well, no, what I said was that I want you to elect me talk show president, and I was looking for running mates, but you clearly are not eligible to be a running mate.
See, you said it yourself. I should be the president, not the running mate. You see, that's it, yeah.
Read my lips. No more calling.
Oh.
Whoa.
You see?
Steve and Waimama, Steve, Steve and Waimama hung up on us? I can hardly believe it. Steve, what's the matter, man? Oh, come on, Steve. I mean, we look forward to your call. Steve... I only get 2 or 3 people from Waimama who call. It gives me... Steve, do you know what makes my naughty parts tingle when I say the word Waimama? Even my wife, and this is the truth, Steve, Mary, the lovely Mary, said this weekend we should move to Waimama just because it's fun to say. I suggested we just rent an apartment there. Doug in Tampa. Doug, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. It's true story, Sam.
Yeah.
Can't make up that kind of stuff.
Buddy?
Oh, great, Doug.
Oh, good. Hey, listen, I'm a very good admirer of Sam's.
A very good admirer. Well, most of Sam's admirers are very bad at it.
Yeah, well...
This is Sam Appreciation Day, of course.
Yes, it's Sam Appreciation Day, and I surely appreciate the opportunity to have the sad day on this airwaves. It's very nice to be here with the Professor Moriarty of Talk. I enjoy it.
Well, listen, I'm curious about this handbook.
Trouble is, Sam, you see, most of your people aren't literate, and they haven't the vaguest idea who Professor Moriarty is.
Yes, not being able to read makes one a conservative, because you can only rely upon the radio and the television for your news, and it is conservatively biased. The conservative media establishment just continues to twist the Dukakis message. But anyway, you appreciate me today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear this.
What I'm curious is of this book.
I need a vote.
Did I vote?
Yes. Did you vote yet?
Yes, I voted.
In the real election or for the broadcast party candidates? We're running.
It's the other way around, isn't it?
You see, proving that he's a conservative, we're dumbstruck at oftentimes. Yeah, so at any rate, you would like.
I want a handbook.
You want a handbook?
I want your handbook.
I am opposed to handbooks. I'm opposed to the paper. I am the man who will introduce in my administration the Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act.
Reduction Act.
You see, this is why they call me Agent 970. My background for this was as the Talk Show Intelligence Agency. We've killed callers.
This is one of your guys. This is one of your...
Yes.
I'm going to have to get up earlier on Saturday and Sunday and listen to your show.
Yes. Well, yes, it's an interesting show. It's an interesting show. You get the Walt Disney World forecast each and every hour.
Hey, do you got a
Hey, the Walt Disney World view of the world, too.
Well, you know that I'm not the Mickey Mouse candidate in this race. I know who the Mickey Mouse candidate is in this race, and it's the Lunatic Fringe.
I'm picking up bush vibrations. He's the best guy to lead this nation.
Cool it, Sam. You can't sing for, Donkey Dong.
And I will also, Bob, I'm still trying to solicit your support. I haven't given up hope yet. I'm the eternal optimist.
I'm not going to give you my supporters, Sam.
I am in favor
of... It, wouldn't you?
The FM guys get... again, these low blows. I am not running a dirty campaign. I am not bringing up issues, am I? I am not bringing up one issue. I am not running a dirty campaign. I am running a campaign solely on the things that people like to talk about on talk shows. My administration, we will not talk about issues. We will talk about talk. I mean, good stuff.
Hey, Bob, you big fat slob. You and your pickup truck.
Me and my pickup truck? What's that mean, Doug? In my neighborhood, that's not much of an insult, but...
Who's the bimbo laughing in the background? That's what I want to know.
Paying attention.
You know, I always...
I hear you guys jabbering away. I want my handbook. So I can go to Winnipesaukee and open up my radio station. Where was that place you want to move because it's so fun to live or say?
Winnipesaukee. Yeah, you had it right the first time.
Isn't he the president of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers? Isn't that him? Winnipesaukee? Oh, no, it's Win Pissinger.
Yeah.
Right. Can you say that on the air? I don't know how they ever introduce him.
You can say anything you want on this is Shock Radio between noon and 3.
Okay, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. In my administration, the FM guys will get their own coffee
pot. I think Cheryl Brown listens to my show. She must.
She listens to the show?
Well, whatever possible explanation is there for that hair? Shock Radio.
Well, yeah, she'd like to listen where she doesn't have to listen to the promos for channel...
Channel 10.
Yes.
Channel 10.
She's 10. What, he's gone, you see?
I think Doug hung up. He really is one of your callers. Okay, Mikey, you want me to take a break? Why? Why should I take a break?
It's the Producers' Rights Amendment. They're asserting their rights to interrupt at any time. I'm
16 minutes of political spots to run this hour.
Oh, okay, what the hell? Get it over with.
Please,
Mercy, here we are.
Again.
Get it again. Yeah, I tell you, it's just...
I like these backroom deals, though, Bob.
So do I. Gary in Tampa. Gary, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sam Appreciation Day.
Bob, you punched the wrong button.
I punched...
no, Sam Appreciation Day, you see?
All right, now, Gary, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sam Appreciation Day.
Bob, you haven't punched the button yet.
I did, too. There's something wrong in here. Okay,
There's something wrong with the buttons.
Now, Gary, you're on the air at 970 WFLA for Sam Appreciation Day.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
That's why I'm in favor of the monologue, Bob. These things do happen from time to time. Yes, sir.
Sam Appreciation Day today, huh?
Yes, it's a sad day when they have that, yes.
Hey, look, it got rid of Cheryl. It's getting rid of Ronnie, and we figured, what the hell? Let's go. This seems to be working.
I've never had an eye lift, though, I must say.
Tomorrow is Schumann Appreciation Day.
Huh. Well, Bob, I called in today. I've been listening to a little bit of your show today, and I just wanted to call in and try to get a little bit off track if you want to jump off track of the...
a little off track? You think we're on track here, sir?
Just as long as you don't talk about any issues. I'm opposed to that.
Sir, this is a giddy day. You see, sir, what you don't understand is, for the last 2 years, everybody who does talk radio has been suffering because there just aren't really any great major issues. Okay, so you got a week out of, the bombing of Libya, and you got a couple of days out of the North hearings, but basically there really hasn't. So for 2 years, we've all been running around saying, oh, thank God the elections will save us. The election. Oh, we'll get 6 months out of it. I don't think any of us got 6 shows out of the election, so we are really happy today. It is over. It is done with. We're totally giddy. There's nothing for us to do except, come in and sit with each other and try to, schmooze our way through. So you really think we're on track? Go for it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I thought today was going to be the election day. The time was going to be over and to get back in tune with everything.
Right, wrestling.
Excuse me?
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Don't you wish one of us would say, how did you vote today? And let's keep track of it.
Well, anyway.
You can make that call later. There's another number somewhere where I'm sure they're keeping track of that today.
Oh, yes, indeed they are, probably.
Anyway, like I said, I thought...
We're afraid we've gotten you off track, haven't we?
Yes, it's... that's what we do here.
Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, today was going to be, like the end of elections and time for people to pick their candidates, put people in office, and try to get the government back online, both nationally and locally. I've got numerous amount of phone calls today. I'm deputy sheriff of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and I was running for county commission, countywide, District 6, and opened my campaign account back in September of 1987. And in about February, I was advised, because I was a civil service employee and a deputy sheriff, that I could not run for public office and that I had to leave the race. And I did. I stepped out back in June of 1988, months before the qualifying period. And basically, I just wanted to let you all know that there's some support out there. People that thought evidently something was wrong, wasn't right. And they didn't think the state could go around forcing people to run out of office just because what their job was, what they did. And just want to try to get back in, that, that I'm still here.
Of course, I'm not going to get, the chance of getting elected is very, very, very slim. But there's always the next time around. I've got friends like Phyllis Busansky, who run on the same platform that I ran on, who's doing well in the elections right now. And hopefully, with everything going right, she'll win today. She's got a good platform. She's for the people. And she's for good law enforcement. But I just wanted to call and let you all know that there's some people out there that want to see a difference and want to see this county get back on track for the people and bring government back home to us where it belongs, and not with problems that we had, such as when some of the other candidates who lost out in the primaries for commission, as far as monies, people being bought out for seats, and things I just don't agree with. What do you all think about it?
I thank you very much for the call, Gary. We certainly do appreciate that. For anybody that's interested, Gary is still around in Tampa. Lud in Clearwater. Lud, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Lud.
Bob, I wanted to call today and talk to Sam. Tell Sam I think he's a fine American.
Lud, I guess this must be, I was certain that I didn't hear the Wade Boggs Celebrity Softball Tournament promo, but now that you've called, it must have been said, because that's what makes things like this happen, yes.
Sam, who did you vote for, Sam?
I have not voted today because I always go to vote with my wife.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say you had not heard a Wade Boggs Celebrity Softball promo? I have not heard the promo yet this hour. Yes, Sam.
Yes, here we are.
Sam, you and your family are invited to join the WFLA. That's the 970 WFLA air staff, and a number of sports celebrities for the Wade Boggs Celebrity Softball game. Saturday morning at 11 at the baseball stadium on the campus of USF. It's right next to the Sundome. Proceeds go to a good cause, to fight MS. That's Saturday at 11 at the USF baseball field. And Sam McClelland will be broadcasting his show live all morning right here on News Radio 970 WFLA.
Bob, this is...
Wait a second, Sam. How can you and your family be invited to join the 970 WFLA air staff if you're going to be broadcasting your show live all morning right here?
Well, no, I'm supposed to be there because the least favorite personalities are supposed to be there. Now, Bob, this is not the world-famous incendiary promo liner. This is a new promo.
Yes, yes, it is.
Well, it's a new promo.
Yes, it is.
What happened to the old promo?
I don't know.
I mean, that was a guaranteed, surefire way. You know what's happened, Bob? The old promo is gone. It is one of the first acts of the Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act. We got rid of that old promo, and we have a new one. Or yet, I bet you somewhere around here the old promo still exists. We do not get rid of old paperwork. We just add more paperwork, more promos, more liners. When will it all end?
God, I think I'd rather listen to commercials than listen to you. On your birthday in the morning. That's the show that I'm not a welcome guest on. Unreal. And they're playing commercials like that on my show? Unbelievable. Bob in Clearwater. Bob, you're on the air at 970. You're on the air at 970. Yeah.
What happened? I mean, you're holding an election without Liz being there?
Well, Liz is in Africa. She heard about the great motion picture.
I don't understand the question.
Out of Africa? You remember Out of Africa. She's a real estate salesman. She's over there to get listings because the other broker that was over there, the ERA broker over there, Liz would work for an ERA broker. Anyway, Liz is over there, and she heard that they were out of listings and they were out of Africa. That's what she thought the Meryl Streep movie was all about.
Yeah, but Sam, you're not including her in your election.
Oh, no, she is automatically nominated. To be talk show president, you must be a talk show host. To be a running mate, you must be a caller, because that's what your job is, that whenever we run out of things to say, it's up to you to call and save the administration.
Yeah, but Liz doesn't have a chance to say anything here.
Sir, we give her 3 hours a day, and that's what happens usually.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys are going to be in real trouble when she gets back. She's going to be screaming equal rights and all that stuff.
Well, I know when Liz gets back, not only do I have to clean up the food from the morning crew, but then I also have to pick up her jewelry that she leaves laying around behind and walks out of the studio.
Yes, her earrings. She takes her earrings off to do the show. I don't understand that.
And puts them right where I put my briefcase.
And then she leaves them here. Why does she wear them in the first place?
And those suckers are big, man. I don't know why that woman's ears, aren't down around her waist.
I think she sneaks things in and out of the country in those earrings, Bob. That's what I think it is.
She well could.
If I were an customs inspector, I would inspect those earrings.
Whoa.
I keep telling Lassiter to watch out for the sharks. And his answer is, I'll have another black Russian.
So you're not going to, you don't have any appreciation for me today? I mean, I'm desperate for appreciation. I get dead air every time.
I got a lot of appreciation for both of you guys.
Well, sir, this is Sam.
Yeah, but I mean, I hate to see Liz miss out on this.
Put me in the same category with Sam.
You see, this is a guy, once again, bringing up a phony issue that Liz is not here when Liz is in our hearts everywhere, you know.
When Liz gets
I thought about Liz today. Now, I brought this Renews It in. I brought something to bribe all the hosts. I brought in a Renews It for Liz. It says it right here. It says it lasts more than 2 months. She said she always wanted a man to give her something that lasted more than 2 minutes. So this lasts more than 2 months. And
well, if it'll help clean up the smell of the perfume in the studio when she leaves here,
it's a long-lasting
55-gallon drum of ODPU.
In fact, it says it's the roommate. That's what she's looking for, is a roommate. That's why she went to Africa.
Yeah, I think about the third day.
I thought she was looking for somebody else to put on the checking account.
It's really going to hit the fan, man. She's going to really she's going to have to have a re-election. I think.
What? Yes, I understand exactly what you're trying to say, and I appreciate it.
You understand exactly
more than you know.
Well, I closer to the people that normally call you.
I appreciate you, sir, and I don't know why, because that's me.
I have no idea what he's trying to say, none whatsoever. Okay. So I really I don't understand what's going on. I mean, here it is, Sam Appreciation Day. The board is full, but dullards, absolutely. I mean, here's this man that comes in week after week, makes a total fool of himself for what? For you people. That's what he does it for. And here it is, Sam Appreciation Day, and people are calling up saying things like, well, where's Liz Richards? Oh, this is disgusting. The man sitting here with tears in his eyes.
Well, that's because of the Renews It. I don't think I should have brought it in so soon. I think I should have stuck with cigar smoke.
The way you have been. Bill in Tampa. Bill, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Bob.
Yeah.
This is a new low. Now, I've heard you angry on the radio with your callers. I've heard when you're...
Well, especially yesterday, man, when I was really on a roll. I mean, I had the real thing on the... it was terrible.
Sam Appreciation Day.
Yeah, Sam Appreciation Day.
It's a sad day, isn't it? It's a sad day for broadcasting.
Do you owe Sam something, Bob?
Hell no.
Okay, did you have a rough night last night and couldn't fill the airtime?
No, not particularly. It was a normal night at home. Mary and I sat around talking and watching the tube. And
putting anything in your food?
Did a little bit of work on the computer.
Putting anything in your food, you think, Bob?
Well, Mary did make some egg salad yesterday, but it was very good.
This is just I appreciate Sam. I do appreciate Sam. I appreciate Sam at 11:59 when he's going off the air.
But, sir, Sam is a source of great amusement for most of the Bay Area.
It's like hearing an old joke. It just doesn't play all the time. I think WFLA would be better during Sam's hour, 3 hours, whatever.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff I was hoping for. Yeah.
Here we go.
If they ran the traffic reports, 10, 15 minutes each, about 3 times an hour.
I'm opposed to traffic reports. I'm absolutely opposed to them. I think that those traffic reports consistently clear up traffic jams. And if we didn't have traffic jams, what would the news have to show you at 6 o'clock at night if we didn't have a few accidents, a few traffic jams, a few blockages? I am absolutely opposed to clearing up traffic jams with these incessant and inane traffic reports.
Well, you see, Sam lives over in Pinellas County. Blockages are very big over there.
Right? Don't say that.
These constant. Now there. You see, once again. Now this is your typical caller, Bob. You see, these are the people that are in favor of issues, information, and all of this unnecessary stuff.
This is not
my talk show administration.
Callers. This is not. This man has yet to mention Hulk Hogan. He has yet to mention Ronald Reagan. This is not one of my typical callers.
That's correct, and Sam, I agree with you on the traffic reports, but during your airtime, I think it would make the show a little more exciting.
A little more exciting?
With the traffic reports, yes. I do.
A little more exciting?
If out of 60 minutes, let's say,
about some hog reports? I think that might help to brighten things up a little bit.
Well, I had that suggestion. Virginia said I should give the farm reports as a part of my local news. That, that Ernie Lee has made a shtick out of this for at least 30 years. So why shouldn't I? But I'm not so sure about the farm reports. I do favor the Walt Disney World forecast, but the price of eggs does not concern me.
Yeah, you also favor the Walt Disney view of the world too.
Bob, this is the lowest thing you've done since you've been in town. Election day.
Well,
you don't have to talk about the election, but I just can't believe Sam Appreciation Day. I'll bet you when Liz gets back, you're going to have her on the show.
Well, what the hell would you rather? An Edwin Meese Appreciation Day?
That'd be more fun than this. When Liz gets back, I'll bet you have her on the show and use up 3 hours letting Liz tell us about her trip.
Yes, Lassie, come home. All right.
Do you think it could be somewhat Freudian that Liz is on the top of the schedule?
Liz is a marvelous gal. I want to make it clear.
Sir, did you not hear the station promotions about the Lassiter sandwich?
Oh, yes, I did. I enjoyed that tremendously.
Well, Liz is not on the top of the schedule.
I think it... Now, hold the button, Bob, because I don't know... Well, I won't say it. Because it could be bad. But to say the least, it sounds Freudian. So, well, I'm going to go now, and I'm going to put it on... Has that other station changed their call letters again?
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, I'll tune back in tomorrow at 12.
Sure.
I'm going to tune out now because this is really terrible.
All right.
I am upset. Maybe.
Upset.
Call them and tell them how you voted today.
Or something.
Yeah, call them and tell them how you voted today.
All right.
And they'll keep track of it because they want to get the jump on ABC, NBC, and CBS by finding out how you voted today.
Right. Well, Bill's going over to up your service now.
Bob, you know what's amazing, though?
What's that, Bill?
Is that Sam would even go into the same studio with you.
Well, Bill, I'll tell you what I think is the most amazing thing about this particular telephone call is that between the time that you called and the time I'm about to hang up on you, 29 minutes have elapsed.
Yeah,
29 minutes.
Right. But
that's an incredibly long time when you could have been listening to Up Your Service.
Is that what's on there now?
Well, it's what's always on there at this time.
Okay, well, better show tomorrow, Bob. Thank you, sir.
Well, Bill, if you promise not to call in, it just might be.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you certainly are. Charlie Davis standing by with a WFLA News Brief. I know that broadcasting isn't your forte, but the little red light up there means that the microphone has been opened.
No, I thought it was a smoke alarm.
No,
I thought it's been on. It goes on and off all the time.
I have to apologize, Sam. I mean, I am bitterly, bitterly disappointed in my audience this afternoon because normally my people call in day after day, no matter what I'm talking. I mean, I've even done a show on donuts, and people have busted in, screaming and hollering about, this crazy lunatic McClelland that we have on the station here, and I thought that they would just rip you to shreds, because I honestly believe that my audience was not a bunch of yellow-bellied sapsuckers like yours are, but apparently they are.
Well, see, that's my kind of campaign. I like that, and I see we're not on the issues anymore. We're down to my level, which I enjoy. That's good. Every punch below the belt, my audience they're not yellow-bellied sapsuckers.
But these guys are kind of coming up, with a limp wrist going, nah, tapping you on the shoulder and running away.
Retired producers.
I thought they'd rip you to shreds.
They're retired producers, really, what they are.
John and Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Oh, I know it's going to be another gentleman. It starts off wrong.
Well, the reason I'm calling to apologize to you both, and especially to Sam, as a result of my brother Tom, who had called you earlier. He had some problems, as you know, calling, and he really did want you to be president.
Right, I did bring in my Beetle Bailey rubber band gun, which is my bribe to Dick Norman to step down. He's ahead, you can see.
Football back and forth during the call?
Yeah, we got a little football here, political football. I've been giving them away all day. Sue gave hers back to us.
Are you winning this vote, Sam?
No, I'm way, way behind in my campaign for talk show president.
Who is winning this vote?
So far, Dick Norman has more votes than anybody else, and that is because he has demagogued this death penalty issue as though he's the only one for the death penalty. He's demagogued this issue, and I think that's why he's getting votes.
I think you should be president, and I should be your vice president, and wait, no, I should be president. Yeah, that's it. I should be the president.
Now, this is the Eagleton family. They're all having nervous breakdowns. Shock therapy. That's what Dick Norman gives you guys, is shock therapy. He was given a bunch of it yesterday.
Alice in Largo. Alice, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello?
Yes, hello, Alice.
I'm going to sue WFLA.
You're calling to sue WFLA?
Yep. FLA told me to set my dial and throw the knob away, and then they get that Sam on, and now I need a new radio or else I sue.
You're suing for a new radio?
I can't find my dial. I cannot pull the plug out, and I am tired of listening to Sam.
Well, you have your opportunity to elect somebody else as your talk show president. There are many people who are tired of listening to Sam, and apparently it's an epidemic proportion out here. It's like the red tide or something with the free fish. Who's the guy called about the free fish?
Yeah, the lines are full. It's just the people are just coming up and kind of going, nah.
What is WFLA going to do for me?
Ask not what WFLA can do for you.
Yep. Either I get a new radio, or I sue, or get Sam off.
Okay, thank you, Alice. There we go.
I don't know which. That was the nicest thing she said. She'd like to help, get Sam off, right?
Let's check the Trib and see what the phase of the moon is. Donald in Clearwater. Donald, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Donald.
Listen, I really do appreciate Sam. I think that he has given a new meaning to the words of dull and boring.
Oh, I am the king of dull and boring local cable. You know that.
Oh, I've never in my we're talking about gagging me with a spoon. And I'll tell you what I like best about you, Sam. I love the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll tell you, I just stand and I cross my heart and I twitch and I love to sing along with the national anthem. But what I like best about you is your invocation. I've never heard anything so meaningful and so prayerful.
Are you still asking for God's blessing on your show?
No, I do not do that because it is, I believe in silent meditation and prayer is also sufficient. So what I do is I check the log and I simply play the national anthem if it has not been already played because I'm very attentive to the log. I am the watchdog of the log.
Oh, Sam, you're a watchdog of something, but I'll tell you something. Do us a favor. Look, we're with Lassiter. I mean, he's our kind of a guy, and when you took his place, I thought I was going to die. Bob, don't ever do that to us again, please. If ever you go on vacation, for God's sakes, either just let this time go into the dark or get some reruns of a football game or something. Sam, you're dull and you're boring. You're a wonder. I'd love to have you for a neighbor, but my God, not for a primetime talk show. Never.
I think this guy wants to nominate the Bob Lassiter talk show impersonator.
Shut up. I like what the guy's saying.
Hey, Bob, listen to me. I'm one of your loyal fans.
Oh, that's typical. Silencing me, right?
Bob, if you move, we're going with you to Tampa's history. Sam, always stay on Sunday mornings between from 9 to 10 or 12, whatever you're on. And those callers, my God, though, you talk about blueheads and brain beaten up people. It amazes me how you even get them to call and talk about all this controversial Reagan crap. My God, you're boring, dull. Change your act. Change the invocation. Anything.
Thank you, Donald.
Hey, Bob.
Take care. I didn't realize that you were still giving the invocation. Maybe that pile of bones that the guys left here the other morning was part of a religious service to offset the invocation.
No. I read the original Wade Boggs Celebrity Liner. That usually works for me. It's a chant. I bought this on the air one day, and it's
you had to buy your own horns.
You don't know Bud Paxson.
Well, first of all,
look at Mike. He said, "Yeah, right."
It's the only good thing they got going for them, the horns. And you guys got to buy your own horns.
It's how I got my job in radio talk shows. I got my job back. Mike Serio can testify to the fact that I used to fall asleep on the air, but still keep talking. Right? He will tell.
Hello.
Yes, right. Yes. See, it happens to other people.
Joe's dime, man.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I appreciate your bipartisan and unbiased radio programs. I appreciate you mostly at the midnight shift that you're on. Bob, can I ask you a question?
Well, I suppose you could.
Do you remember meeting me and my wife over at the what's the heck is the name of that? Where you had that radio show that worked out real good. At the restaurant.
Are you talking about
Seawolf?
Are you talking, sir, about one of the greatest shames of my life?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, the tobacco company. Fine restaurant, horrible radio show.
Well, listen, me and my wife would like to go with you and your wife to the George Carlin show in your Lincoln.
In my Lincoln?
Yeah. It's this Sunday night.
This is incredible gall.
Just inviting himself into the privacy of your own car, right?
My dead Kalski. My dead Kalskin.
You see? I told you he's a communist plant. You accused me of once being a communist plant, but you can't even say cow, a good American like cow, without saying Kowski. That's what they call them in Moscow, Bob. They call them Kowskis, and you heard it here first, right here on News Radio 970 WFLA. Agent 970, Sam McClelland, a former member of the Talk Show Intelligence Agency, and you know why they kicked me out, too. But I was Agent 970 and licensed to kill callers, and Bob said Kowski on the air. You heard it. Kowski.
So much for my dime, huh? I'm serious, Bob.
I'm certain he is. But are you well done? That's what I want to know.
George Carlin. He's at the Performing Arts Center.
At the Performing Arts Center. Well, it's nice and close.
I'll buy the tickets.
You'll buy the tickets, huh?
And you can just pick us up.
Yeah, I got to drive to Odessa. I can throw rocks to the Performing Arts Center from where I live, and I've got to drive to Odessa to pick you up? I mean, how about if you buy the tickets and after the show I point out the Lincoln?
Yeah, right. You mean like at that wrestling match?
Well, no, I didn't have the Lincoln then.
Yeah, I know.
It was part of the settlement with the fabulous moolah for destroying my back that enabled me to get the Lincoln.
Yeah, that was never on TV. From what I can see, I didn't see it.
Well, not so far anyway.
In the front row.
Well, it was going to be a syndicated situation, and whether or not it has been syndicated in other markets and not here, I have no idea. I've not heard anything from them.
Well, I got the satellite dish, so I should be able to get anything. I got that fight last night, too. I watched that fight. Did you see that fight?
No, I did not.
Oh, it was really good. I enjoyed it. Whoever was fighting the second fight, I think his name was Merriweather or something like that.
I have no idea.
His manager jumped in the ring at the end of the fight and got his head punched in, too. It was quite comical.
Yeah, it's another retired radio producer, right? That's what they do. I mean, where do the retired radio producers go?
It beats me, Joe. I'll check it out with Mary.
Okay, I'm serious.
Well, I'm serious too. I'll check it out with Mary.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you don't have to pick us up, but I'd like to go see that with you guys.
Well, it's a very distinct possibility. If Mary wants to go along with it, it's okay with me.
Okay, you remember my wife, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're nice people.
Well, of course you are.
Hear that, Sam?
Anybody that dislikes Sam is, okay in my book.
I welcome variety of opinions as long as you don't talk on the issues.
Sam, what are you going to do after the election's over for programming?
You're listening to it. The election is over, pal.
He's going to.
It is.
He's going to be calling up people and giving them toots.
That's really skirting.
No,
Sam has a brand new format. It's called "Don't Call Us." Oh, God, excuse me. We'll call you.
What you're doing is you're giving me a vote for Virginia as my running mate. She would like to add the farm reports to my show.
Or Marianne. Thank you, Joe. Check with me tomorrow, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right. Kay, somewhere in Clearwater on a car phone. Kay, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, miserable.
No, I would be, too, if I had to sit next to that guy every day.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, listen, talk about gag me with a spoon. Try gag me with a spatula.
Gag you with a spatula?
Honest to God, having to listen to this guy just makes me sick.
This is another IRS agent in the kitchen joke. I can see this.
Listen.
Gag me with a spatula, right?
Verify that she's talking to me.
What will the housewives of this country have to defend themselves against all those IRS agents, if not a good handy spatula? Not these crummy rubber ones for Teflon pans, but a real spatula.
Let me talk now, okay?
Oh,
now, if I have to sit here and I have to listen to you, you're going to have to listen to me, all right?
It's her $1.35. She's on the car phone.
That's right. It's my dollar for every minute. That's right. But listen, as far as I'm concerned, if Reagan dropped his drawers, Sam would be there kissing both cheeks the way he talks about Reagan and Nancy. It makes me absolutely sick. He must drool when he sees those people's pictures on the television.
Is this another Reagan uses rouge on his cheeks joke? You used that yesterday, Bob.
No.
I heard that. Rouge on the cheeks.
That's right, but it's always on your lips.
Whoa.
That's right. It's always on your lips.
Now.
I tell you what, you be kissing both his cheeks.
All right,
the way
Kay.
you talk about him.
Well, you are always a welcome member of the broadcast party in my convention.
That's
because
right, and I vote for Dick Norman.
Because we're off the issues now.
I would definitely rather listen to the air raid siren.
No, it's another vote for Dick Norman. Now listen, during the break, I went over to try to bribe Dick Norman. He is the highly voted candidate for talk show president. He's got more votes than anybody else right now. But I think he may drop out of the race. I gave him my Beetle Bailey rubber band gun. It's a repeater. It's a triple rubber band repeater, and because he's not an advocate of gun control, so I wanted to give him one of these, and he's considering it. Now he hasn't dropped out of the race yet, but you would like him to be talk show president? You're voting for him?
Definitely so. But I would rather listen to the air raid siren than to listen to you at all. I'd rather 3 hours of air raid siren coming over the radio than to listen to you.
I think that's why she's asking your vote for Norman.
No, we have a ground wave system here in Florida. We are a member of the system, so you may be able to hear air sirens all the time.
I would much rather. And I tell you what, Bob, it's bad to have to listen to Appreciate Sam Day, but it's never bad enough to ever turn on that other station.
Well, thank you, Kay.
All right.
All right. I left-handed compliment if ever I had heard one, and I've heard 2 or 3. 2 lines available, and in Clearwater. Roland, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
First off, before I
Sam
talk about
too.
Sam, do you guys dump the weather weenie?
Dump the weather weenie? What do you mean by that, sir?
Well, you used to have those sappy commercials, and Dr. Joe Sobel, the weather weenie.
Dr. Joe Sobel? I don't ever recall hearing the name before.
No. All right, well, that answers that. Now, Mr. McClelland, I have to talk to you. You've been working on the weekends, okay? And you've been coming across as a talk show guest.
Yes.
Now that you're out on the weekdays, you're trying to get rid of the G word, and you're trying to put yourself off as a host.
Well, I have had to reverse some of my positions in order to appeal to the voters. I know that.
You're not trying to fool these people and call yourself a talk show host, are you?
I'm saying that I have revisited my opinions. My opinions are evolving as I go along. I have to admit, I used to have a different position.
That's almost as silly as George Bush calling himself a conservative.
No, I think all the broadcast party members are considering and rethinking their position about whether I am a talk show guest or a talk show host. And I am also saying that my position is evolving. But I am
a guest like the caucus is a liberal. I'm painting you in the same corner, buddy. You can't get out of that. And I want to tell you one more thing. I called Dick Norman, and I consider Bob Lassiter as my friend. But you're no Betsy from Largo.
Whoa.
You showed up. You're gone. You ain't gonna win now.
How about a rose from St. Pete? He's not even a rose from St. Pete?
He's not even near that level. I mean, he's on the bottom of her shoes.
Does Rose from St. Pete call you?
Yes, Rose from St. Pete. It's those darn memory phones out there. Every once in a while she bumps into.
Huh?
Yeah, right. Automatic redial.
Yeah. Well, Roland, this is a shocking attack.
Hey, I just tried to do my bit for you, Bob.
Well, you didn't talk on any of the issues, so you're a welcome member in my administration.
All right. Talk to you Saturday, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Now let's go now to Jesus in Zephyr Hills. Jesus, you're on the air.
You're on the air, buddy. Hello?
Yes, Jesus.
Yes, is this Bob?
Yes, this is Bob.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate Sam McClelland because of you pablum-puking liberals that go on the air and spread all this propaganda.
So, Jesus, which propaganda did you have in mind?
That you spread?
Yes.
Well, how nobody's in real danger in the communist countries. It's just a philosophy they believe in. How about that?
Jesus, I don't believe those words have ever crossed my lips, that no one is in danger in communist countries, although I don't really know of anyone in danger in communist countries, but I don't believe those words have ever crossed my lips.
Well, you do agree with Governor Dukakis about how you oppose the Contras and you oppose having any kind of influence inside the communist influenced countries, correct?
Oh, you're quite wrong. I believe that we should have a very, very strong influence inside the communist countries. What I oppose is funding an unwinnable war. That's what I oppose. What I would be quite in favor of is doing everything in our power to demonstrate to those who live in countries such as Cuba, Nicaragua, the Soviet Union, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Vietnam, North Korea, China, etc., etc. I would be very, very much in favor of demonstrating to those people the joys of democracy and the joys of capitalism. I am muchly opposed to funding, for example, let's say radical fundamentalist Muslims.
Okay.
Fighting in Afghanistan, who would just as soon be fighting us.
This is so typical, Bob. More paperwork, more regulations in the talk show host manual, and more issues. You're going to continue to pester us with issues, no matter how often I try to tell you that what they want is to talk about talk and not about the issue.
Well, Jesus brought it up, and I knew that he didn't know what in the hell he was talking about when, first of all, he didn't even know your last name, but he could parrot your words.
Well, that's
no,
okay.
Actually, pablum-puking liberal. That's Morton Downey talk. That's not Sam talk.
Bob, what's going to happen in 10 years, okay, when we're not helping the Contras and our whole hemisphere is communist? What are we going to do then? I mean, I know you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to have any kids, but what about my kids that are going to have to go fight on our borders?
Fight what, sir?
Well, how about Russia? Or maybe the communists?
Well, sir, if the Russians wanted to attack the United States of America, I doubt very much they would get involved in a decades-long, multi-trillion-dollar, blood-shedding, bizarre, convoluted plan of attacking this country via Mexico.
They won't have to, Bob, because if you liberals do what you want to do, we're not going to have any self-defense. In about 10 or 15 years, when our hemisphere is basically communist, we're not going to have any way to defend ourselves. They're not going to have to spend that much money to come and take over.
Jesus, why do you think they want to take over?
Well, isn't that their general philosophy?
No, it isn't.
Isn't that what Lenin wrote all about?
No, it isn't what he wrote all about. What Lenin wrote about is he theorized that the workers in capitalist countries would rise up and overthrow the capitalist government and turn to communism. That's what Lenin theorized.
I refuse to dignify this entire conversation with some comprehension, really.
Details. I tell you.
Well, here at 970 WFLA.
Yeah. I'm just returning the call, sir. I don't know who this is to or what it's about.
You're returning my call?
Yes, sir.
I'm Bob Lassiter, Richard. We're holding a Sam McClelland Appreciation Day, and
I'm sorry. That somebody maybe it came across the ears. It's on my beeper, and I just returned a message.
Well, no, we called you. It's part of our new program here. Don't call us, we'll call you. The phone's been a little slow today, and we wanted to see if you had anything that you wanted to say about Sam McClelland.
No, sir, I really don't. Thank you for calling.
You're entirely welcome, sir.
Okay.
What? Well, like I said,
he didn't want to say anything one way or the other.
We were just checking out the voter registration list of those who are registered voters in the broadcast party have to have a phone, and you can see the list of our registered voters in the phone book, and apparently he is a registered voter but had nothing to say.
I do for you, Mary.
Someone from your number paged me on my digital pager. This is Mary Lozano of Tambay Realty.
Mary, what is that?
Lozano.
Lozano from Tambay Realty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything available that we'd be interested in?
Perhaps. What would you be looking for?
Well, we're actually looking for compliments for Sam McClelland. We're having an extremely difficult time getting them.
You're looking for what?
Compliments.
For what?
Sam McClelland. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I'm sorry.
Well, it seems to be a major problem that we're running into. I fear, Mary, that someone has... you see, you're actually calling a talk show at WFLA, and I fear that someone has pulled your leg and left this number on your pager.
Okay.
Some absolute scoundrel, a despicable type of human being who would take you away from your busy pursuits of selling real estate throughout the Tampa Bay area through, of course, Tambay Realty, and has tricked you into calling a talk show.
Okay.
Well, Mary, my name is Sam McClelland, and you haven't heard of me. My name recognition is way, way down. That's why I'm losing. I'm campaigning for talk show president today, and I'm not gaining any name recognition with you, am I?
Well,
you're going to promptly
I don't remember you, to tell you the truth.
You're going to promptly forget my name again, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to write it down right now.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Yes, I think Sam is thinking about putting his house on the market, so perhaps the two of you can get together at a later date.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Take care. Jerry and Larry, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. Oh, great, Jerry.
I'm a first-time caller. I've been listening to you for a year or so now.
Mm-hmm.
Drive a truck.
You get a couple of toots there. I have to toot my own horn.
Democrats and the United Mine Worker officer.
Mm-hmm.
I've been out of work for 3 years. And now that I'm talking to you, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Mining's a little slow in the Lakeland area?
Huh?
Mining is a little slow in the Lakeland area?
Well, I moved down here a year ago. No, I'm a United Mine Worker.
Mm-hmm.
From the coal field.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered taking up golf?
I better, I guess.
I mean, it's an excellent occupation, and if you get in those sand traps, you're excellent at digging it back out again, aren't you?
Just an incredible neoconservative approach to a man who's out of work. Well, instead of working in the mines, why don't you become a professional golfer? They make a lot of money.
Mr. Reagan helped me at work. He helped a lot of us. We got work like the blacks do before the Civil War. Trouble is, there's no pay in it. you know what I'm saying.
This is definitely another Sam Appreciation Day caller. You have heard of Sam McClelland, haven't you?
No, not really.
Oh, thank God.
Bob on days, like I say, I'm a dry, but I will listen to you from now on.
Well, thank you. I'm usually over on the Greek language station up way on the right end of the dial.
Yeah, okay.
Take care, Jer. Steve in Sun City. Hey, Steve in Sun City. How's the concert going out there?
Hey, pretty good. I thought about hanging up in Guatemala, but I thought that was Sun City, and my quarter ran out.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Guns N' Roses, man, they're all right.
All right. Guns N' Roses are still playing down there at Sun City. Fantastic.
Hey, it's rocking. Hey,
it really
Sam,
is. It's a hot town, man.
Yes.
Conservative nerd, man. You sound like the kind of guy that counts his calories every day.
Count my calories every day. No, not at all. I just grab whatever I can and just, consume it. Mass quantities, you name it.
Yeah, well, you bore me in the morning, so don't ruin my whole day today, all right?
Well, thank you so much. Call again next time you're not listening.
Hey, I wish Hulk Hogan was radio talk show host because I'd vote for him for president.
Talk show president?
Well, yeah, Hulk, the Hulkster might actually be on my show one of these days soon. Maybe.
Hey, that'd be all right. Hey, Bob.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'll see you at Mons Venus this weekend, bud.
Okay. Tragedy. The young lad had 2 quarters. Carol in Madeira Beach. Carol, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, great.
Good. I'm going to vote for Sam.
A vote.
Oh, a vote. Sam. Wait a minute. I'm climbing up here now. I'm climbing up on the talk show now. We're still way behind Dick.
Oh, well, give me 2 votes then.
No, we can't do that. In the broadcast party, we insist on you vote once.
Okay, well, I appreciate you because you appreciate Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan is the best thing that's ever happened to the United States.
Well, he's the most effective president of the 20th century, I would say. And
Karol Gorbachev?
He sure is. He's great. And Bush is going to be just as good and even better.
Well, their administration will probably take effect no matter what. It's my administration that I'm worried about. Now, again, this is not a popularity contest, and it should not be.
No.
This is serious business. I am running for talk show president.
Well, I vote for you because I really enjoy listening to you in the morning, and I can't stand listening to Bob. Especially yesterday when he said about Marilyn Monroe.
What did I say about Marilyn Monroe?
He said that she was a whore, and that was absolutely ridiculous.
Carol, that was one of the callers.
No, you said that. You said that.
No, Carol, that was one of the callers that called in
and
said
you said it, and you hung up on the person. You said
Carol.
Bob.
Carol, it was a woman who called in and said that she was delighted that there wouldn't be whores in the White House.
No, you said it after that. You said about the
I said, are you referring to, Marilyn Monroe?
You said it. Now you have to listen to the tape again because.
No, I don't have to listen to the tape, Carol. I know what I said.
I know what you said too. I remember listening.
Well, no, you don't know what I said. If indeed you're trying to tell me what you're trying to tell me is what I said.
Well, I hate to back up Bob a little bit, but I do believe that comment. I don't know what Bob said in his whole show.
He did, and then he hung up on the person.
But I do believe it was Ruth in Tampa. I believe it was Ruth in Tampa who talked about Marilyn Monroe being more than just a professional actress.
Yeah.
And I do believe that Marilyn Monroe gave a great song. She sang Happy Birthday, Mr. President, better than anybody has ever done that. Do you remember seeing this old tapes of her singing Happy Birthday and their eyes locked?
Uh-huh.
And that's all I remember.
Have there been bales of green things washing up on the beach at Madeira this morning? Yes.
No. I'm looking at the beach right now. It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Have there been duffel bags full of white powder washing up on the beach there this morning?
No, not lately.
Then I can't possibly understand why it is that you heard what you didn't hear.
I did hear it because you hung up on the person. She might have said it first, but then you said something. You said it too.
Well, now you're right there on the coastal waters, Carol. Is there
but I was
really?
listening to my car. It wasn't right here.
Do you feel that there really is a necessity for 2 thermometers in Pinellas County so that we can get the separate Clearwater and St. Pete temperature?
No, I don't.
This is very important to the Sam McClelland talk show administration. If I were talk show president, I would get 2 thermometers in Pinellas County so we would know.
And stop trying to fool the people into thinking that there are 2.
See, everybody
does.
I'm for divulging the vast difference of temperatures between St. Pete and Clearwater.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not an issue. And that's my kind of thing.
Well, I think you should get rid of that book.
The talk show host manual?
Yes.
I am in favor of that. The Talk Show Paperwork Reduction Act will be the hallmark of the first 1,000 hours of my administration.
Well, Carol, let me send you off with a Sam cheer, okay?
Okay.
Oh, Bob, you're disgusting.
Alta in Largo. Alta, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. Oh, pity poo, Alta hung up. Tragedy. Latest member of the Dog Meat Club. 2-line, Andre in Largo. Andre, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Sam.
Yes.
You say you were behind Dick?
Yes, way behind.
Well, better off than being in front of Bob, because Bob bends over backwards, and you don't want none of that. Anyway, Bob, you're the worst, Bob.
Oh, how's that, Andre?
Well, see, Sam sticks up for himself on Sunday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
He talks to these purple-haired people every Sunday morning. See, Bob, you cut them off, Bob. Bob, you cut them off. You can't cope with them.
Well, actually, Andre, you're quite wrong. I salute you. It's the backbone of my business, you see. And I love getting them.
Well, see, I urge all the purple-haired people to call in and vote for Sam. And Sam, by the way, you got my vote, Sam. You amuse me every Sunday morning.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm climbing up here. Climbing up. I am now neck to neck with Dick. I don't know what that conjures up in your mind, but it certainly means close victory for me.
Well, as long as Bob's not near you, you're fine, because Bob is the worst.
I hope Dick is listening down there. I know he's listening, or maybe he's listening to that FM, but I think he's listening, and Dick is no longer ahead.
All right. Hey, Bob, anyway, I'll catch you at the Mars Venus.
Oh, okay.
See ya.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of crowded in the booth, won't it?
Tom in North Tampa. Tom, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, Sam, great show. Can I speak to your guest?
Oh, no. Yes, I used to be a talk show guest myself, but I have to toot my own horn because who else will do it for me? But let me say this to you. You see, Bob is our whistleblower. He's the official whistleblower. In my talk show administration, there is room for whistleblowers. We will not veto that.
Okay, can I make a nomination?
Yes. For what?
For president.
A nomination for president?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Jack Ellery and make Bob as vice president.
Jack Ellery. Oh, God, there's a name from the past.
He does not meet the qualifications. You must be a talk show host to be... to be president. Now, you must be a caller to be running it.
That was really cruel, Sam. Jack listens to this show every afternoon before he goes on. He's doing his show prep. Listen, and now you're demoralizing him.
Yeah, he has time to spend on the afternoons now, doesn't he? He can listen to the shows, and I think it will help his edification. You know,
that's really cruel. I mean, here's the poor guy sitting there. Gee, I wonder what Bobby's going to do today. Maybe I can steal something from Bobby today. And, he's sitting there with pen and pencil and paper and everything and crayons and you're going to demoralize this guy right before he goes on the air on this fantastic national network that he's on?
The fantastic national network, FNN?
Do you realize they get into Bellevue, Texas?
Or Harlingen, Texas, the home of the Confederate Air Force.
I think they dropped them.
They dropped them at Harlingen, Texas? But that is the home of the Confederate Air Force. I mean, that is the kind of stuff that he likes to do. That's the burning issue. Should they change their name from the Confederate Air Force to something else? Because it's no longer drawing attention. They used to be able to sell little blue caps.
Well, now wait. Let's go back here to Tom in North. Why do you want to nominate Jack Ellery, Tom?
I don't know. Thought it'd be a good nomination.
So, but he is unqualified.
Oh, he is?
He is unqualified. You must be a talk show host in order to be...
You're doing it again,
president of talk shows.
I'll vote for Lionel, then.
Well, Lionel is the lunatic fringe, and we said that he is the lunatic fringe candidate, and this is the first vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
So you must be, Lionel, lunatic, Lyndon LaRouche caller. Is that right?
No, I vote for George Bush.
No, George Bush is not... Listen, I've met George Bush. I know him, and he is no talk show host, and he is no Jack Ellery either.
Well, I don't know. I think he is a Jack Ellery.
Well, anyway, Lionel gets one vote, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he's climbing up the charts with a bullet. Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, thank you.
Take care. A line open in Hillsborough. Gary in Gulfport. Gary, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Sam.
Yes, hello.
I'd have to give you my vote, except I think I really have to give it to Liz instead.
Liz is a talk show host. Yes, she is. So she gets a vote.
After what she's done for Bob or doing for Bob.
What has she been doing for you, Bob?
I think she's ruining the bonus structure that I have set up in my contract, but that's beside the point.
What? No, Sam, I thought she was in Africa.
She is in Africa. She's on African safari, and as I've said, what she's looking for is that African king that wanted to buy Brooke Shields. Yes.
I thought that her real reason for being over there was tracing Bob's roots.
Gary.
I think this is a retired radio producer.
But, Sam, I'll tell you, on his show, I know what the WFLA stands for, but what happened to the H?
What happened to the H? What happened to the H? Wait a minute. Now, this is a letter. I'm thinking of the H word.
Well, FLA, fat, liberal, ass, and then there's an H missing, isn't there, for Mr. Lassiter?
No, we are WFLA, and it stands for Florida, I think. That used to be Florida until, now only the United States Post Office would abbreviate FLA to FL. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's what you get from the Post Office. They were a part of the Paperwork Reduction Act, and I'm for that, too.
Sir, WFLA stands for Where Lassiter is the Answer.
I don't believe anything you say, Bob.
Well, that's because he talks issues.
However, Sam, it is nice to hear you in the afternoon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
And perhaps you can do it more often.
As often as I can. Vote early and often for Sam McClelland, talk show president. I appreciate that.
See ya.
See ya.
Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Are you against it?
Oh, you would amend the Constitution? You like those amendments? You think the Constitution was an imperfect document, huh?
The big L should be burning your forehead for liar.
Thank you, sir. You said, that's like George Bush said, you said you didn't want to amend the Constitution.
You're trying to stop people from making you the fool you are. The Bill of Rights is
You, sir, would like to vote Reagan again. You are sorry that they fixed the Constitution with an amendment to stop him from running 3 terms.
The kind of fool you are.
You, sir, are in favor of
This is what the father of the Declaration of Independence says about the Bill of Rights. A Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government.
Isn't he running unopposed again this year?
Thomas Jefferson running unopposed?
Bill of Rights.
Oh, Bill of Rights. I remember Bill of Rights. Yes.
He's a congressman. He's running unopposed.
Oh, yes. Mike Bill of Rights, yeah.
And what no just government should refuse or rest on interference. But you would change many of these bills, the First Amendment, wouldn't you? And I can go on and on with the father of the
Please don't. Please don't.
You can't.
Dick is ahead. Dick is ahead again.
That's right. Now, when does Liz get back?
When does Liz get back? She will be back Monday.
Oh, so we get to get Bash Men Day on Monday.
Monday, Liz Richards will be back. The most popular exhibit in the Smithsonian Institute, and I hate to bring up a fact, but the most popular exhibit in the Smithsonian Institute, day after day, year after year, is the First Lady's exhibit. Regardless of who has been the man, the president, the First Lady has always been more popular in the long run.
Makes sense to me.
Well, in Panama City, Manuel, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, man, y'all can hear me pretty good on the satellite, I can tell, man. I just wanted to call in and tell Sam, this is Sam McClelland Appreciation Day, man. I just really appreciate Sam for all the good work he's done to get George Bush reelected, man. Things would be really bad if George didn't get reelected, because I called George up on the phone, man.
Wait, is this the Noriega impersonator?
This is the Noriega. Is this the Manuel Noriega impersonator?
This is Manuel the Noriega, man. Hey, man, there ain't no impersonator, man. I'm calling you direct, long-distance live, man, by the satellite. And I got to tell you right now, things would really be bad if George Bush didn't get reelected, man. Because, I have to spill all the beans on all them other people, like Ollie North and all them other guys.
Are they refried beans?
No, man.
No.
This is not Panama City, Florida. This is Panama Canal calling?
Panama Canal.
No, this is the Noriega impersonator.
This is the Noriega impersonator. Uh-huh.
When that Lionel impersonator has started, there's just no stomping it out.
Well, one thing you will never see is in my administration, I will never wave a machete around to get your calls.
It's okay, man.
Although I gotta admit, it's a great shtick. Call my show or I will get you with my machete. I think it's a great shtick, but it's been done. It's been done, Manuel, and I think you do it better than anybody else.
It's okay, man. Just keep that money coming in. That's all I care about, man. And everything's gonna be happy down there in the CIA in the basement of the White House, man. I gotta go, man. There's another airplane out there to load up. So we'll talk to you later, man. Y'all take it easy now. Bye-bye.
150. Oh, welcome back. 1:53 the time. Of course, it is Sam Appreciation Day here. Cindy in Venice. Cindy, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, Cindy.
I really wanted to say that I appreciate Sam for his dedication to conservative ideology, but I want to test it out a little bit, if it's okay.
Sure, go right ahead.
Fire away.
Sam, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine. I have a question for you, Sam.
All right.
If your wife was raped and murdered by George Bush, would you still vote for him?
I'd castrate him.
Oh.
But I'd vote for him.
I don't know. You still vote for him?
Of course I'd vote for him. He'd be a eunuch in the White House, but I'd vote for him.
That's going to be anyway, isn't he, Sam?
That's true.
I have one more.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a deserted island and had the choice of spending the rest of your life with Carolyn from Newport Richie or taking a cyanide capsule, which would you choose and why?
I would take the cyanide capsule.
You really would?
Sure.
Have you ever seen Carolyn, Sam?
No, I haven't.
Good-looking lady.
But it doesn't matter. We're just politically opposite, you know.
Is that really Sam?
Yes.
Sam, say something so I know it's really you.
It's me. What would you want?
Recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Now, are you convinced now?
No.
Wait a second. You didn't finish it. You're not the real Sam. You're the Sam impersonator.
Oh, my God. I don't like to talk to imposters. Listen, I didn't spend all this money calling from Venice to talk to imposters.
All right, we'll let you talk to the real Sam.
Let me loosen up my pants here for a second. Hold on.
No, wait a minute. This is not true. This is not true. That they came in and it was a coup. There was a threatening of the news coup. Don Richards called in and said they were threatening an objective takeover of this show, more issue talk, and they kidnapped me. I was held hostage.
Cindy, do you believe that was Sam, that mindless babbling?
Now I got it.
Now you've got the real Sam.
I got it. Bob,
now that person that rescued me was Oliver North came in and rescued me.
I think it's only fair that you answer her questions. If George Bush raped and murdered your wife, how would you feel about it?
No, would he vote for him?
Oh.
I've got the same cue cards here. I'd castrate him.
Yeah, but would you vote for him?
Yes, I would.
Okay, you're really you this time. Listen. Hey, Bob.
Yes?
I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
About maybe 2 months ago, you said to your listening audience that if George Bush were elected, that you would devote the rest of your shows after Election Day
to professional wrestling.
Wrestling and pizza.
And pizza, right.
Are you ready?
Am I ready? Well,
if the polls are any indicator, I should think that you'd be sitting home at night coming up with some grand ideas.
Well, I have. I've been going through the pizza recipe book.
Good.
And I've been playing the wrestling trivia game a lot so that I can, learn a lot about it.
Good.
Read my lips, Bob. Hold the anchovies.
Read my lips. The atomic drop.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, very much for a very entertaining afternoon.
I appreciate your staying off the issues, too. That was very nice.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Jackie and Brandon. Jackie, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob. I loved it. I love it. Bring Teddy back. Get Teddy back on here.
Teddy.
Wait a minute, Ted.
You got a request?
Wait a minute, Ted.
So he was just trying to sneak out of the studio.
Ted, you may have dropped out of the primaries too soon.
Tell me I don't know Sam McClelland's voice. I've been forced to listen to that voice for the past 2 weeks. I've been listening. I tore my damn dial off my radio, and now look what's happened to me. This insidious blob of mindless bias has invaded my listening pleasure.
What are you talking about, Webb or McClelland now?
First, I just happened to tune in on Saturday morning. Every morning. I have to work every Saturday. And then all of a sudden I hear this voice from the far end of the right universe. And I thought, oh, my God, no. This is not radio. This must be the other station.
You know, I'm really amazed. I'm really amazed.
Happening during the week.
Well, Jackie, I'm amazed because the way the studio is set up, the host chair is dead center in the room, and I would have thought for sure that Sam's show would have sounded a little bit more like this. Hi, everybody.
Way to the right, yes. No, I do not hook to the left. I do not slice to the right. I hit them right down the middle.
Sam,
but I want to get this.
Appreciate you. Believe me, I don't call you because believe me, I would no more argue with you than I would argue with my 2-year-old child. But I'm telling you, I listen to you every morning and every Saturday. You have a captured audience.
Well, thank you. Now,
you know what I appreciate about you?
What is that?
When Uncle Dickie
there's a real brain buster for you.
I have a love-hate relationship with Uncle Dickie and Bob. You know, I'm somewhere there in the middle.
Right, you love me and hate Dickie.
You got it.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I got left out. Dick went somewhere else, and I had to listen to Liz. And I thought, there's nothing worse than this.
It's good news. She's seeking political asylum in Africa.
Africa.
You see, you prefer an insidious blob of mindless talk.
All of a sudden I heard this mindless bias coming from the right side of the universe, and I said, oh, my God, Liz, come back.
That's
now I'm satisfied.
That's a double negative, mindless bias.
What's she want me for?
I don't know, but she started the call by saying, get Webb back.
You wanted me
Sam,
back?
You really are funny. I mean, God, there's no way in hell I could ever agree with you, but you are funny. You are enjoyable in the morning.
Hey, I got to run. Did you want something with me, love?
I can't take you as president of that broadcast.
Is Mike working?
I'll tell you, if you
I don't
were,
understand this, do you?
I'd set
I
off
don't
a
understand
two-ton
Call me
bomb
back.
under
I thought for sure when she was
WFLA.
talking about Insidious.
Thank you so much. You can see that. So, goodbye. Take care. Thank you.
I had to go pee, and I'm holding it because she said she wanted me to come back here. And my teeth are floating. What the hell is going on?
I don't know, man. Hey, look, I'm just trying to get through the show the best I can.
WFLA's Bob Lassiter.
They said it couldn't be done. They said that no station had the nerve to do it. They said that no one could survive, that they would lose their license to broadcast if they did it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now coming into the 6th consecutive hour of Sam McClelland on the radio.
It's been done before, 6 hours of Sam, and Michael Serial can testify to that, although...
But not on the radio.
But not on the radio,
and
you're
there's
right.
not a piece of Capodimonte in the studio.
Not a piece of that fine, handcrafted Capodimonte. Look, you can even see the fingerprints of the artist in the paint, yes.
8 minutes
Count
after
the
the hour of 2 o'clock. Welcome back. Hour number 3 of Lassiter. Hour number 6 of McClelland. And it is my
Yes.
And it is my understanding that you're going to go all 3 hours with Dick, and that you'll be doing 2 hours with Ted on the Sports Huddle, and possibly even sitting in via satellite with
No, Bruce Williams is...
Bruce Williams,
no,
yes, Bruce Williams.
I've met Bruce Williams, and he is no talk show host. He is not permitted to run
Jack
for
Ellery.
talk show. No, he is no Jack Ellery.
I've worked with Bruce Williams. I know Bruce Williams, and he is no Jack Ellery.
Yeah, I used to precede Jack Ellery.
Jack Ellery isn't Jack Ellery.
You know, Jack Ellery really is David Brinkley calling himself on the phone. That's who he is. Have you ever seen that shtick? I stuck around one day to find out.
Really, David Brinkley?
Yes, David Brinkley used to
leans back and laugh.
Oh no, David Brinkley used to call the Jack Ellery show all the time, and I finally stuck around one day because Jack used to follow me.
Rick Samples.
And
whoa,
and I'm watching. And what he would do, honest to gosh, what he would do is he would call himself on the phone because nobody else was. So he would call himself on the phone and pretend to be David Brinkley on a car phone. That's how he would...
Jack Ellery used to call his own show during
That's right.
the show.
As David Brinkley, he'd say something like, Jack, this is David Brinkley. I'm vacationing here in Tampa Bay. You know, that's what he would do. And to make up for the reason for the click, because he'd have to put himself on hold to go back on the air, that he would say it was a car phone, and that was the click. And I have never, in my administration, I have never called myself on the air to get a call. I've never been that desperate.
I've had some desperate afternoons, but never anything quite like that.
One of the things
I used to play solitaire.
Yes.
Worked very well. It would light the board.
But that's one reason why you and I do agree on the necessity of the monologue, that I would not eliminate or veto the monologue act.
Michael in Largo. Michael, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How you doing, Bob?
Oh, great, Michael.
Isn't this a great day?
Oh, it's a fantastic day. Liberation Day.
I don't know if I have...
No more Joe Episcopo commercials.
I just don't know if I have 6 hours left of audio tape to get this all down.
Although I am thinking very seriously of starting... I might buy some time here and run a Jack Ellery, a dramatization of a Jack Ellery calling himself on his own show. Following is a dramatization of Jack Ellery.
Oh, that'd be great, Bob. Well, I just want to express my gratitude to WFLA for providing employment opportunities for the mentally disadvantaged and giving them broadcasting jobs on Saturday morning.
Whoa. Let me jump in real quick on that one. McClelland does not get paid, sir.
Well, it's like 1,000 points of light.
Because I wouldn't know what to do with the money. What would I do with the money?
I thought McClelland's show was a little bit more like 1,000 points of hooey.
You see, I believe that this is a free country, which means you don't have to pay for it.
Bob, remember the debate that you had with Sam after the Ollie North program?
No, sir. I don't remember any debate that Sam and I had at all. I do vaguely recall being in the studio with Sam, and he was, of course, blundering his way through his defense of Oliver North. I recall that.
Well, I thought that you might feel
the man
a little
needs no
bit
defense,
ashamed
Bob.
there, Bob. A little bit ashamed of yourself for engaging in a battle of wits with an unarmed man.
It wasn't a battle of wits, sir. I would quite agree with you had that been what it was billboarded as, but no, sir. No, it's not a debate at all.
Well, I'll go along with that. Sam, I can well understand your position of not allowing people on your program that have a different viewpoint than you do. It gets pretty confusing when you have to talk to people you don't agree with, doesn't it?
You see, Michael, the only reason that Sam was even in studio that night is we wanted to have a television set in here so that I could view the North speech, and unfortunately, with all the electronic equipment, it's very, very poor reception, so I needed someone to sit there and hold the antenna.
Well,
I also was the only one in the station who had a photograph of Oliver North so that we could, have it here and see what he looked like with all his medals.
I personally wanted Norman to hold the antenna, but unfortunately we couldn't teach him how to do it.
What, Sam McClelland, what do you do in real life to earn a living?
Well, I'm a part-time brain surgeon, and I'm the man who has the vegetable stand on the corner of US 19 and Ulmerton Road. Have you ever seen it? It says Cukes, 10 cents?
Yeah,
That's me. And I also hold the franchise for the velour paintings of Elvis Presley, which you also can purchase at a medium modicum price.
You see, Michael, what he is actually saying to you is that part of this Reagan miracle, he's one of the people who's unemployed in it.
Mm-hmm.
I am an entrepreneur of the first class.
That's great. Well, Bob, how are you doing in the election today?
How am I doing in the election? I'm not running, sir.
You're not running for president and talk show host?
Oh, sir, I am Top Banana.
Now, you see, Bob, these are the nicknames that, like the Gipper or something. You want to be the Top Banana. You see, you're trying to...
I want to be the Top Banana,
You're trying to appeal to people
I am the Top Banana.
Well, this is not a popularity contest, Bob. This is Talk Show President, which is totally different from a popularity contest or the most knowledgeable host or anything like that. Talk Show President, in the administration of talk shows, you have clearly come out for more paperwork. I am against paperwork. You are clearly for a bigger talk show host manual. I am against a bigger talk show host manual. These are clear issues. I am for the Tampa-Hillsborough number coming first and the Pinellas number coming next and not the other way around. And I don't know. We had a discussion about that. I'm not sure what your position is on that. Now, I take the missionary position at all times.
Well, Bob, I just want to say in my closing that I don't think president is a good enough job for you. I think you should be king of the talk show hosts.
Top Banana's good enough.
Okay,
Top Banana rubs it in even more.
We'll go with that.
Are you withdrawing your name from nomination for talk show president?
Well, nobody's voting for me anyway.
all right.
Oh,
all right. Whoa.
Marianne in Tampa. Hi, Marianne. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Bob, you're just making fun of this day, but I really want to thank Sam because Sam has always let me on his program, and he has always praised our president and shown what...
Marianne.
What?
There are 7 names on my screen right now. Mrs. Barlow in Clearwater has been waiting 40 minutes. Michael in Largo waited 41. Cliff in St. Petersburg, 34 minutes. Bob in Carrollwood, 25 minutes. And we got you on after only 4 minutes. We've put you ahead of all of these other people, Marianne, because you are one of my favorite callers.
And they told you they want to hear me speak because they know I speak the truth. And today...
Are you talking about Marge, who was saying that she wasn't listening to the show?
She has heard me before, and she knows that I speak the truth. And you do nothing but you try to run our president down. You try to tell us how bad things are.
Wait a second, Marianne. That Lincoln is brand new, and I'll be damned if I want it dented. Don't
even let me praise Sam because Sam has done everything every weekend. And you're making this a terrible day because you won't let me talk again. And I wanted to tell Sam how much I love him, how much he's meant to me. And I said, you weren't here, let me talk. I don't think it's fair. Sam, you're the number one. And this day is going to be the end of President Reagan's presidency, but we'll never forget this wonderful man. He's been so marvelous. And Sam, I just love the way you play the national anthem and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
See, Sam, I would kill for your callers if you really want to make it big in this business.
Is this the Jack Parr impersonator? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not clear on any of this.
You even make fun of the fact that I'm a patriot and I love this country. And you make fun of all the good things in this country, and people are getting tired.
Ma'am, I have never made fun of the Continental Deli.
You made fun of me all yesterday afternoon after I called. And I've only want to do what's best for our country. And President Reagan and Nancy, the most wonderful people, the most wonderful couple.
Wait a second, I thought Sam was the most wonderful person.
Well, Sam.
Second most wonderful.
Sam appreciates the president, and I appreciate Sam.
Oh, of course Sam appreciates the president. It's got him work for a couple of years, you know?
I think that Sam ought to be.
I don't know what the hell he's going to do now.
I don't know how you can live with yourself, Bob, to be so cruel.
I don't. I live with Mary.
In front of old people. And I cried all day yesterday after the way you treated me on the phone.
Bob, this is precisely what I'm talking about. In my administration, we will have more emotionalism on the air. Mary Ann, you're a sweet lady, and to recover a little bit, and God bless you too. Thank you. More emotionalism on the air. That's my goal.
Oh, you're not going to get them to cry over George Bush, man.
No, that's a first-time crier for me.
I mean, if anybody ever called up and started shedding tears over George and Babs.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Wait a second. I thought Ronald Reagan was number one.
Well, he is. He'll always be
who's number one? Ronald Reagan or Sam?
Well, the president is the president.
The big guy or the big schmo? I mean, which one is it now?
They're both number one, and we can have two number ones if we want to.
Two number ones? How can you have
President
two number
Reagan
ones?
will always be number one in my heart, but Sam will be number one on the radio. That's the way it is.
Well, Mary Ann, you are proving once and for all that our exit polling on today's election for Talk Show President is much more entertaining than the exit polling we'll get from the other networks tonight.
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Bye.
God bless you.
There she goes. She hung up on me again. I mean, I don't understand. Let's go to Mrs. Barlow in Clearwater. Mrs. Barlow, you're on the air at 970. Oh, pity poo, Mrs. Anybody that calls up and leaves a name, Mrs. Barlow, is someone I wanted to talk to. So, Mrs. Barlow, if you're out there, I will give you a special exemption from the Dog Meat Club and allow you to call back. Dennis in Largo, not quite as exciting as Mrs. Barlow, but Dennis in Largo does rhyme with Mrs. Barlow. Dennis, you're on the air.
Hey, that's Clearwater, Bob. That's Clearwater.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the sparkling city, the home of the sagging bridge,
right.
yes.
Hey, Bob, have you ever thought about a legend in your own mind saying, does that come and ring a bell at times?
I beg your pardon, sir?
A legend in your own mind.
I'm not a legend in my own mind. I'm a legend in talk radio in Tampa Bay, sir.
Come on, Bob. How'd election results? You going to go with Bush quail ticket?
I beg your pardon?
You going to go with...
I've already voted, sir. I have already voted.
Well, what do you think of it? You think they're going to sweep the country?
I would have no idea, sir. I have utterly no...
I mean, let's get to the root of it. I mean, how did Bob Lassiter...
Sir, I think you've been sucking on your call.
I want to see how you voted in the election. You said
I voted the way for Dukakis, sir.
You?
I decided not to punish you.
Punish me. I think the main thing you voted, though, and people would realize this scumbaging that they had mudslinging back and forth, it accomplished one purpose. People are out voting. They might get a 50% turnout. I bet you that'll be going back to 10 years to have an election turnout.
Well, we had historically in Florida a far greater turnout than the nation does. I can tell you unequivocally the polling place that I went to this morning at 11 o'clock was jammed, or 10 o'clock rather. It was jammed.
7 o'clock, I had a half-hour waiting list just to get in the door.
Well, I would expect that at 7 o'clock, people trying to vote before going to work. I went deliberately at 10 thinking that it would be, virtually empty. It was fantastic. Although there was a very strange phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they have the table set up when you check in, A through C and D through whatever?
Correct.
Well, all of the letters from A through L were empty. From L on were jammed. Nobody who had a surname that began, there were no Abbotts, there were no Babbitts, there were no Costellos, no Dunmores.
And Seeds down here voting.
It was very strange, but it was great seeing all those people out there. Fantastic, if you would.
To create a Department of Veterans Affairs.
I voted against it.
You did, Bob.
You see, Bob, you're always asking what is actually in the amendments. I believe in the voting by the numbers. This is what we've been told to do. Vote yes on 2, vote no on 10. It's much, much simpler. When they tell you, they don't tell you when you get the Mona Lisa, paint your own Mona Lisa. You see, that they don't tell you her face should be pink. They say, no, her face should be number 4. Then they make it simpler for you, and I believe in voting by the numbers. It's a lot less confusing. Vote yes on this, vote no on that.
My reasoning was that, first of all, I don't believe it is a state responsibility to take care of veterans. I believe it is a federal responsibility and one that has not been lived up to. Thank you.
Okay, now, but there is a department in the cabinet level that will start off in January. And to have an effective form of government from the state level to the national, there's no correlation right now.
Well,
granted, they have an umbrella department that, hey, if you're going to do something...
Yeah, well, we've got a Department of Energy, too, that apparently doesn't accomplish anything. I'm not overly impressed with a cabinet-level Veterans Department. I'd be a hell of a lot more impressed if the Veterans Department, no matter what level it showed up on, actually accomplished something.
You see, when we start talking issues, Bob, you find agreement with me. I'm against that Department of Veterans Affairs.
That's a slap in the face to the veterans.
No, it's not a slap in the face to the veterans at all. It's a slap in the face to the people who are charged with taking care of veterans' issues and veterans'
You're always
needs.
going to have that, true. But to have a cabinet of people that, especially in the Senate race,
and they're so consistently and persistently ignored, aren't you? You know, I am a veteran, and I will tell you that, there probably isn't a single more idea that they need more help in getting their points across is ridiculous to me. It's just more bureaucracy. But then again, you've got me talking on the issues. You've done it again, Bob. This is one of your callers, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Do you mean, in essence, we are on the same side of an issue?
Oh, my gosh.
I wonder if it's too late to get my ballot back and change it.
That's a first, right?
Oh, this is very, very disheartening.
This is why we don't want to talk issues. No
Reagan,
issues.
he has been a great president for the last years, though, hasn't he?
Well, yes.
Bob, what about you, Bob?
Bob, you
gave you my answer.
You're disgusting. You're disgusting, Bob. That really.
It's a new election, though.
Right. This is what the people ask me about the Doppler forecast and how. Once again, you see, dead air. This is the Sam Appreciation Day, and it has caused more dead air than any other show.
Hey,
unreal.
I still got to say, Bob's a legend in his own mind, and I still think I'll agree with you. You're a top banana, though.
Thank you, Dennis.
Hey, Bob, you get up on those veterans issues, and I'll give you some material, and we can get you on our side, guy.
Take care.
You take care of yourself now, guy.
Education. 8 minutes after the hour of 2 o'clock. Back to the phones we go. Miriam in Tampa. Miriam, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Miriam.
I think you got taken.
You think I got taken? What do you mean?
I don't think that was Mary Ann.
You don't think it was Mary Ann?
No, I believe I caught her. I think it was Diane.
Diane?
Uh-huh. It was either Diane or Carol. I can't... Those
You mean Diane as in Hello Moose, Diane?
Yeah, that one.
No.
It was one of them, Bob. It
the
really
Mary Ann impersonator?
We've got a Mary Ann impersonator now, too?
It was not Mary Ann. That was not Mary Ann.
Is there no end to all of this impersonation?
That was not Mary Ann. Mary Ann whined just a little bit more, and I know if she'd started to cry and she'd have got so tanked up, she'd have had to hang up.
We are going to have to get our patented home shopping voice stress analysis machine strapped onto these airwaves so that we can tell when all these impersonators come in.
I mean, this is just incredible, all of these impersonators coming on the show, almost all of whom fool me.
I'm serious, Bob. I really believe it was Carol or Diane won. The only reason I believe this is because I caught the voice, and when I think it was our ever-loving Jack Ellery, when he was on, she called in and she gave him some impersonations of somebody.
She was the one that called Jack?
Yeah, she called him quite often.
He might be the Mary Ann impersonator himself, too. You never know. You never know.
But at any rate, I know it wasn't Mary Ann because I've listened to her little whiny voice too much. Of course, I can't really complain about people's voice because mine sounds so terrible anyway.
Well, now, wait a second. Maybe there isn't any Mary Ann. Maybe the Mary Ann impersonator is really Mary Ann. Or no, that would be the...
It really is Carol.
The Mary Ann is the Mary Ann impersonator.
Possibly, but that was not that Mary Ann that calls you and whines.
Yeah, that's the all day, all night Mary Ann, right? Yes.
Only if I can keep her on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. This is what is happening in talk radio. Cliff in St. Petersburg. Cliff, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yes, I'm calling to vote for Sam, I guess.
I used to think that...
Wait a second. To
Thank
vote
you,
for
sir.
Sam, you guess.
Yeah, well, I used to think, Bob, you were the only one to make little old ladies mad until one morning I locked my car.
I'm neck and neck with Dick again.
And I get inside, I start it up, and of course, 970's on, and I hear howling and hooling about some haunted house over the bridge on Clearwater Beach.
Yeah.
For anybody to do that show, it was so hilarious, and these old ladies called up. He definitely has to be the president.
What do you mean howling about some haunted house in Clearwater Beach?
Yes, the Clearwater Beach was the real live haunted house this Halloween. They had dogs and police officers chasing you up and down all the dark alleys on Clearwater Beach.
You mean the haunted house in Clearwater is kind of like your, should Brandon incorporate?
Yes, right, exactly. We actually had a sagging bridge, some creaky bridge you have to go over. We actually had cars being hauled away.
Isn't that the bridge that comes up from Bel Air?
No, it comes up from Sand Key. It is the Sand Key Bridge. It's falling down.
Sand Key Bridge, okay.
Yes, it's falling down, yes. And
Sand Key Bridge is falling down,
exactly,
falling down,
that's
falling down. Sand Key Bridge is falling down. My fair Sammy.
Yes, that's the kind of show I do, Bob. That's the kind of show I do. And you see how, it works. This is a caller that has left an indelible impression on you, hasn't it?
Yes, it was very good. It was hilarious.
In fact,
the sound effects, everything.
It was right after I did that show that they raised the toll for 75 cents for the privilege of risking your life to go across that bridge.
At 20 miles an hour.
The price of admission has gone up on the haunted house.
I just love the way they, attack problems in the state of Florida. Well, we'll just lower the speed limit.
When you have a popular attraction like a haunted house, you got to raise the price of admission. That's what they've done. You risk your life. It's scary. It's fun to be thrilled. Thrill seekers come to Clearwater Beach and go across the bridge.
So you've decided to get off the campaign about, ridding the beaches of young people.
No, I'm for the young people on the beach. I feel that the reason I mention this is that you should only have retirees during the weekdays. Retirees have got nothing better to do. It's already crowded with tourists. The locals have a right to go to the beach also, so that we should have voluntary retiree restrictions on Saturdays and Sundays.
Wait a second. I'm very, very confused. You're saying that the locals have a right to go to the beach, but you don't want them there.
No. Read my lips, Bob.
Retirees were the locals.
No, it's voluntary retiree restrictions like voluntary water restrictions. It's voluntary retiree restrictions on weekends.
People who were forced into retirement?
People who were forced into retirement.
Yeah. You were talking about, voluntarily.
It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. If you're retired, stay off the beach on weekends, and Monday through Friday is when you should go. And, battle the tourists, but leave the weekends for the young people so they can get on the beach. They're the ones who are the target of the discriminatory practices of the police department.
Well, I'm sick and tired of going to the beach and seeing all these young people with flat tummies and little tushes.
It
makes me feel very, very out of place.
That's what you tell Mary.
I'm not allowed to look at them anymore.
That's what you tell Mary, But I see you peeking underneath those sunglasses. And we've seen you out there on the beach, Bob, and we know what you do.
Sir, they are not sunglasses. If you'll come a little bit closer, they are blinders.
They are blinders, right. You got the same kind of wife I got, right? A dedicated one.
Pardon.
No, a dedicated one, a loyal, loving one.
My wife into the category of a woman who would marry a right-wing lunatic?
Yes, I'm the star of the new radio drama. I Married a Liberal. That's what I did, but it brings excitement to my life, right? That's what you want, is a little passion, a little excitement. That's what I have. That's what I have. I married a liberal.
Very little passion, I would imagine, considering your political views.
Well, now, don't talk about political views again, Bob. You're bringing up issues, and I'm telling you, in my administration, there will be no more of this talk about issues.
But there have been damn few issues brought up in your house with your politics.
We'll be talking about talk. We'll be talking about whether or not Nintendo belongs on the living room TV or buy the kids their own TV.
Cliff, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pat in Tampa. Pat, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello.
Yeah, Pat. Hello, Pat.
Yeah, I was beat to call this number. I don't know what...
You were beat to call this number?
Yeah.
Well, I sometimes browbeat people to call the number, but I've never actually beaten anyone to call the number.
No, he said beeped. Beeped. It's B-E-E-P.
Beeped. B-E-E-P.
You've been beeped?
Yes.
Why were you beeped?
Obviously, someone's playing a good joke on me.
Oh, somebody gave you... Somebody called your pager and gave you the talk lines at WFLA?
I guess they did, yeah.
Dare I ask this question? Have you ever heard of Sam McClelland?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We have... Pat. That's the first one who has.
Pat, did you hear of him in a favorable or an unfavorable light?
In a semi-cosis frame of mind, I guess.
Then you are familiar with this person.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You are familiar with this person, McClelland.
I've heard the name.
Well, this is Sam McClelland Appreciation Day, and we're desperate for compliments for Sam McClelland today.
And apparently we're not going to get one out of you, Pat, so, sorry that somebody hassled you there.
It's been real nice talking to you.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Very few people say that when they call this show. Let's go to Bob in Carrollwood. Bob in Carrollwood, you're on the air at 970 WFLA. Put down the brie and pick up the phone, Bob. Yo, Bob.
If you'd like assistance in calling, please dial again. Right.
Oh my God! Let's go to Ed in Clearwater. Ed, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
I've got the answer, Bob. What's the prize?
I didn't know we had a question.
You asked Marianne. How do you get 2 number 1s?
Oh, okay.
Prune juice.
Prune juice gives you 2 number 1s. Well, I guess it could. Sometimes it might give you 3 or 4 if you're really lucky.
Well, then you can add Liz to it. You've got.
Are you
Liz and Ronnie on the same ticket? It couldn't help but.
Are you inferring, sir, that Marianne was inferring that Sam was that kind of number 1 and not, numero uno?
I don't know. All I heard was a question, and I came running to the telephone. How do you get 2 number 1s?
Well, that really number 2's me off, if that's what she meant.
No, I'm in favor of more fiber in the diet also, Bob, and that's why I take lots of rye, barley, and oats when I go over to Busch Gardens.
Rye, barley, and oats.
I support our local industries, Bob.
Well, what the hell? If you're a horse's ass, you might as well eat like one, too.
Oh, well, that's good now, Bob. Now, you see, you have a place in my administration with commentary like that. That's good.
Uh-huh.
You see, and now when you stray into my area, you see you do much better, Bob. You really should consider that as now you are clearly more popular. I have to admit, you are clearly more popular. Your name is always coming up in the polls. But I would have to say that as talk show president, you have a place in my administration.
Well, okay.
That's all right, Bob. Your name may be in the polls, but his number is on the stools.
Well, or it's up or something. I'm not sure.
You're right.
Okay, thanks. Take care there, Ed. That was Ed in Clearwater. 2 lines. In the fine tradition of Cheryl Brown, we are doing a Sam McClelland Appreciation Day. Paulette in Tampa. Paulette, you're on the air at 970.
Hello, John.
Yes, Paulette.
Why didn't you call me back?
Why didn't I call you back? I told you I'd call you back after the show, honey.
Well, I told all my friends.
Still promise to take your teeth out, don't you?
Pardon me?
I said you still promise to take your teeth out, don't you?
Well, I told all my friends to listen to the John Eastman show.
Mm-hmm.
But why didn't you call me back?
I told you I'd call you after the show, honey. After the show, we'd get together.
But the young man that was on that answered the phone, isn't he the gentleman that was the cooking instructor on your program?
Yeah, Shorty Obramowitz. Yeah, he answers the phone on the John Eastman show.
No, he said his name was Mike.
Well, he just he tries to hide something. His real name is Shorty Obramowitz.
Sure. Are you pulling my leg? Why, Mr. Eastman, why didn't you call me back?
Well, because in this day and age that we live in, and with the poor condition of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, I just thought I'd get back to you after the show.
Well, would you mind giving me the recipe now?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
2 eggs.
2 eggs.
A half a cup of flour.
Half a cup of flour.
A pinch of salt.
I beg your pardon?
A pinch of salt.
A pinch of salt.
And 2 pounds of nutmeg.
Nutmeg?
Nutmeg. That's the secret.
Pumpkin pie recipe. Why would I use nutmeg?
It's
John?
the secret to the recipe. Trust me.
Well, how many pumpkins?
9.
9.
9 pumpkins.
What?
Cut them open. Scoop out all the stuff inside.
Well, I
Then put the rest of the pumpkin in a Cuisinart.
In a what?
Cuisinart.
A Cuisinart?
Yeah, it's kind of like a food processor.
A food processor.
Chop the hell out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mix it all together in a large bowl.
In a large
Well, do I use the blender?
No, not to mix it. You don't use the blender. Only to chop up the pumpkin rind.
Okay. Mr. Eastman,
add a quart of mayonnaise to the mixture.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise and the pumpkin pie recipe.
The nutmeg and the mayonnaise are the secret to the recipe. We're almost finished now. Pour it all into one pumpkin shell. It might overflow a little bit, but don't worry about that.
Do it the pumpkin shell.
Mm-hmm. Into the pie shell.
Oh, well, that's...
Bake it at 150 degrees.
150?
Yes, again, it's part of the secret of the recipe.
Well, okay.
For 13 days.
Now I know you're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not. That's why it's called the early pumpkin pie recipe. You have to start very early if you're going to use this for Thanksgiving.
Well, John, next time I would appreciate if you would call me back. I was waiting.
We'll get together after the show as long as you promise to take your teeth out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eastman. Will you be on tomorrow?
I'm on every day.
I really enjoy your program, but I wish next time would you call me back?
Tomorrow's show will be giving instructions on how to build a bridge.
A bridge?
A bridge.
Oh well, my husband he may be interested in something like that.
What time does he get home?
Well, he's home now.
Oh, drat. 2:42 the time. I'm in Bradenton. Tom, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Bob?
Yes, sir.
I think the last step in that recipe wrong. I think you take all that mixture, that pumpkin stuff, pour it into an empty suit, and you come out with George Bush.
Well, sir, being somewhat of a lover of mayonnaise, I'm not sure that I would go along with that.
I understand. I think, though, you got a conflict of interest. You're having an appreciation day and an election all at the same time. Now, isn't that a little bit biased?
Well, sir, to tell you the truth, and I'm being now deadly serious, from what I have heard over the last 9 months, or 12 months even, people are far, far more concerned with the likes of Sam McClelland, Liz Richards, Bob Lassiter, Dick Norton, hell, even Jack Ellery, than they are with Michael Dukakis and George Bush.
Well,
I've heard far more unsolicited talk about those individuals.
I know, but you're electing the president of your talk show union or whatever, and you want an appreciation day.
No unions. Don't even bring up that. You're using the U word. Yes, no, we are talking about... We're talking about talk show president, which is totally different from popular talk show or knowledgeable talk show or even objective talk show. The talk show administration under Sam McClelland as president of talk shows will definitely not talk about issues. We're opposed to issues 100%. You get us talking about the issues, and people start tuning into FM music.
That's my point, though. You see, you want to be appreciated, and then you want us to vote objectively.
Wait a second. Do you mean they hired you to try to boost the ratings over at FLZ?
It seems that it's been working on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Brad James comes in here on Saturday mornings and says, Sam, keep it up.
Dumped the billboards and hired you. What? Oh, that Randy Michaels, he's the craftiest man I've ever known of.
Well, let me ask you a question. Has Lud been dominated?
Lud is not a talk show host.
Yes, he was. He had a show for 3 hours.
Well, Lud
he was just a guest on my show. It says the Bob Lassiter show at the top of the page.
As a caller, he's entitled to be a running mate in the event of the incapacitation of the host.
Wait a second.
Well,
Michael,
wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Who's in charge here?
Wait 1 second. Hold on. Michael, do the logs here say the Bob Lassiter show at the top of the page? Because they used to over at the other station.
No, they don't. They're not personalized.
Well,
it doesn't say the Bob Lassiter show, really? What's it say?
In my administration, that will be cured.
Just what does it say, Michael?
Hey, I want to vote.
It just tells me what spots to play.
And it doesn't say the Bob Lassiter show?
Of course not. Would you get off it?
But even PLP did that.
Quit your whining.
Hey, do I get to vote?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I think
it doesn't say the Bob Lassiter show at the top of the page. I thought it did.
I think 3 hours of Lud with Lassiter makes him about as well qualified as George Bush. And Bob, I was going to vote for you, but I heard you had an encounter with a milking machine that left you somewhat disqualified.
No, sir, it just left me with one hell of a smile.
So I guess I have to vote for Sam, and I made a list of his qualifications.
Well, there's no chance of Sam having an encounter with a milking machine.
Finally, I'm in front of Dick.
Okay, but let me give you Sam's qualifications. He is way to the left of Connie Mack and Danny Quayle. He surely meets current national standards for the office of presidency. He has his home address is a hotel room in Plant City. He has a $2 million vacation home in Wauchula, and he's never worked a day in his life. So I guess I got to vote for Sam.
Wait a second.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Walk in here and they're taking down.
Yes.
Not only does it
Has
not
this thing been
say
sold
the Bob
again?
Lassiter show on the top of the log, it doesn't even say WFLA anymore.
Did they sell it again?
Wait a minute. I am watchdog of the log, but I'm definitely... Wait a minute. They're taking this down? They're taking away WFLA? It's
all over.
Where fantastic Lassiter is... What is the A for? Lassiter, what is the A word?
Why are they taking the sign out?
New call letters.
New call letters?
What are they? Did they
WZ?
Playing Polish wedding music starting at 3 o'clock.
Did they change the on-air logo again?
All new announcers go with the all new call letters.
All new announcers. You see, this is it. This is it, Bob. This is the rumored news coup. This is the news coup of objectivity taking over the
Can you say 97 country?
I'm telling you. Okay.
97 country.
Yes, well, I'm ready. I got my tapes, the Sam Case Show.
Darn.
Yes, the Sam Case Show. Here's some more Furlan Husky for you.
And I'm Bobby Clifford. We'll be right back with more George and Tammy songs right after this word from Don Richards.
It's still Charlie Davis.
Still Charlie Davis.
Yeah,
it is Charlie Davis doing his Don Richards news brief. Remember, it's not a fire alarm. It's the light that says the microphone is on. Dan in Clearwater. Dan, you're on the air at 970 WFLA on Sam McClelland Appreciation Day.
There's always that pause. What is this pause when you say that, Sam McClelland Appreciation Day?
Hey, I'm a first-time caller.
I'd
like to tell you, I've listened to probably Bob more than anybody. Liz, a little bit until she makes me sick and I turn the radio off. Uncle Dickie, I've listened to you the least, Sam, only it's because I didn't know you were there.
Well, I am your least favorite personality, then. I'm going to be out there.
You're the one that they're all going
the
to
least favorite personality.
I didn't
Thank
say
you.
you were my least favorite.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what. I was going to vote for Dick, but I like your views.
You like my views?
I think your views are good for America.
Now, which one of those?
You when you're bending over to pick up your cigar.
I'm going to flip a quarter. Head, you got it. My vote's for you, Sam.
Your vote's for me? Which of my platform planks did you like better? The watchdog of the log or reading the Tampa-Hillsborough numbers first? That has been a controversial stand, but I have taken that stand, and I will stick to it. And smoking up the studio every time I come into it, I'm not the environmentalist candidate for talk show administration, and I'm all for foreign affairs.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you get the president, I think you ought to get Uncle Dickie as your vice. We need... put Bob in there somewhere, and I think Liz would be a good director of the sanitation department.
Director of sanitation. Well,
yeah.
there's room for her in my administration. That is certain.
Good. Well, I'll let other people get on there. It's nice talking to you fellas. Have a good afternoon.
Take care, Dan. Off we go to Toby in Apollo Beach. I haven't had a call from Apollo Beach in, couldn't tell you. And hi there, Tobe.
Hi, Bob. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
I came to serve Sam.
Not to bury him. Thank you.
Not to bury him. I missed the national anthem, and I wondered if I had like 45 seconds of your time to do your national anthem.
No, I am the watchdog of the log, and I must say the Star-Spangled Banner was heard during the broadcast day today. We are officially signed on.
Well, this was strictly for you or maybe Ann Marianne.
Well, the truth of the matter is, Toby, I do have a very special recorded piece to play in Sam's honor before the show is over today.
Well, this take a second. How's that sound?
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's the pause. That's the pause that we've been giving when we say Sam McClelland.
Well, the truth of the matter is, Toby, I think I prefer my song much better.
Well, this is like a rap. No.
There's a man in the funny papers we all know.
You like that song?
I do.
He lives
especially
back a long time
Good song
ago.
Now.
You hear this in the background, the oop oop? That's the Sam McClelland horn honking imitation.
Bear cats do. Well, this cat's name
this has, of course, been a fantastic Santa Appreciation Day.
Alley-oop was a good issue-oriented cartoon host. Wasn't he a cartoon host?
I would remind the audience to stay tuned for the Dick Norton Show. Dick's very special guest today will be Sam McClelland. They will be discussing their mutual interest in model airplanes.
I'm a hostage here. I don't know.
Whether or not the newly incorporated city of Brandon should have a model airplane airport. That's coming up on the Dick Norton Show immediately following the news at the top of the hour right here on News Radio 970 WFLA. I think they haven't brought the sign back in yet, but to the best of my knowledge, they're still the call letters.
Wait a minute. There it is, my music. I'm Agent 970, licensed to kill shtick as well as callers, and we're blowing alley-oop away. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, hey, Sam, don't think anything of it. For $50, I'll sell out to anybody. Now give me the money, huh?